Got a little pizza over there.
With the countdown clock.
Can't see it. say in your mind, say to yourself, I am more than my physical body. Because I am more than physical matter, I can perceive that which is greater than the physical world. I deeply desire to expand, to experience, to know, to understand, to control, to use such greater energies and energy systems as may be beneficial and constructive to me and to those who follow me. I deeply desire the help and cooperation, the assistance, the understanding of those individuals whose wisdom, development, and experience are equal to or greater than my own. I ask their guidance and protection from any influence or any source that might provide me with less than my stated desires.
Do not know all the answers to the questions about reality. Do not claim to know the ultimate truth about fire. I seek that which has been made hidden as a part of a family amongst lords of consciousness. I am the void one.
Welcome to Lighting the Void.
Broadcasting live from a shack on a hill in the Mossy Creek bottoms of King Creek, Arkansas. This is Lighting the Void live. We hadn't done a live show in a long time without Mary, but we thought we'd bring back some of that old time rock and roll with the Nightstocker. Damn it, it's good. It's good to have you back, brother. The Nightstocker.
Yep.
He's been here,
going on, brother?
man. I don't know, like, if I start talking about this too much, I'll get all sappy and stuff. But yeah, it's good to have you back, man. Right? Like,
look at the picture you
brain.
picked for me. So you always pick the funniest pictures for me.
You like
I'm
that
just looking
picture?
at the thumbnail right now. No, it's good. It's good.
Yeah. That's a good
It
pick.
was a lot longer than that though. Now it's a lot longer. Now.
It's a good
Yeah,
pick.
yeah.
I was like, which one should I put? Which one makes him look like the Nightstocker that's really stocking those shelves, getting at it?
That's me in the store. That's those are the shelves behind me right there. It's the pet aisle, I think.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks really good. So,
What's going on, brother? I missed you. What's
man,
happening?
I missed you too. There's a lot of chaos and stuff happening now, man. There's just crazy shit that just keeps happening on the internet. And everybody's projecting what they think is going on. And, you know, we kind of went live on the air the other night, just on the radio station talking about it. But I kind of wanted to pick your brain. And plus, I want to let everybody know, too, usually when I have a guest on, especially guests like Nightstocker, we tend to, I tell them to give me some bumper track, because this isn't just talk, it's music and talk. So it's live, it's raw, it's uncut. I'm not here, I'm not going to spend 6 hours to make myself look like a perfect cartoon character. We're going to do this real. Right. All right. So with that being said, there is a chance that I might play a track that YouTube might go, and just kick me out. So it's always safer. The safest route to listen to the show would be on the radio station at fringe.fm. And you can listen on TalkStream Live, the Paranormal Radio app, tune in, all under Fringe FM. But you can go to the website, and there's a bunch of pop-out players there too, just in case. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. But No, man, I wanted to pick your brain. Besides play some of your music tracks too, but I wanted to pick your brain about all the hell that's going on, man. You know, first it was there's all the disclosure talk, the Bob Lazar stuff that came out. Then all of a sudden there's these 11 scientists that everyone's talking about. They're saying they ended up dying. And then Wilcock ends up killing himself a couple of days ago, just out of nowhere. I'm thinking, what the hell is going on? I mean, we need to figure out the truth of what's going on, not just project a bunch of stuff. Like, there's a lot of conspiracy stuff going on. Like, for instance, Wilcock, he's not dead, or he is dead, but he's not dead, or it's a conspiracy. The cabal took him out, and maybe he just had a mental illness.
Yeah, exactly. That was like confusing. I kept, I was like in and out of naps, and I kept checking my my feed, and I kept seeing more and more updates. The first one I saw posted was Brad Olson, and he was kind of posting it in a asking way, like, did anybody see this? What's going on? And everyone kind of hopped on it. It's like, oh, what's happening? But people were, I feel like, looking for like the New York Times to comment on it, and waiting for like a mainstream article to comment on it, which wasn't really going to happen. So they couldn't tell. And I think there was at the same, like, people weren't sure if there was a David Wilcock, country singer, who had died potentially the same day or the day before
player,
that.
I heard. Maybe it was a
football player.
singer.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. Yeah. But that was all up in the air and stuff. And then yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, right now, all the videos I'm seeing, I've saw like a dozen of them today. I didn't watch them, but just they put my reels of what's like. Are we sure he didn't? Are we sure he did it to himself? Are we sure it isn't some shady business? And I don't know him at all well enough to really like necessarily speculate on that. But if you look at the videos from the other day that people are posting, he doesn't necessarily look that healthy. I mean, I don't know, but like, if you like, how you feel about that? But people are saying, yeah. Let's just get
something straight here. And I'm not saying this as like a preaching thing or anything, but we all know, any of us that have been around this field long enough know that there is a plethora of mental illness that goes on in this field. And I'm not saying mental illness as a put down. A lot of times it could be downloads, consciousness, anytime that you're starting to explore the depths of yourself. Anything can set off, like a mental issue. I've had one myself. I've had a few myself, but not, I don't think I could ever imagine like offing myself or anything, but like this field is it just has a ton of it in there. Delusion, number one. Right. A lot of projection and validation that needs to be happening or just dished out on both levels. And then, it's so hard to sift through the truth of everything. However, I mean, if you look at it from an energetic point of view, since like the early 2000s up until now, I feel like there's something going on energetically. I know that sounds kind of woo, but it just feels like stuff is just getting crazier and crazier. I didn't even know, because I'm more into the conscious exploration side of things, like OBs and stuff like that. So I didn't know all of these different scientists in these different fields that were even missing or killed themselves. And then I guess one of David Wilcock's, I forget the guy's name, but a guy that he worked with died just a couple of days before he died. Yeah, and you remember too, this dude's up there in the like a cabin by himself, alone. Yeah. And so any of you that live alone, what being alone does to you after a while. Yeah,
exactly. And I mean, there's many layers of play too. So there's the delusion and the stuff that goes into being a UFO influencer and a consciousness influencer, and the kind of anybody who's following his stuff. I haven't followed his stuff in a decade, probably since like Ancient Aliens days or whatever. It seemed like he was getting more and more outlandish, but again, I didn't follow him. So somebody was following him, could be yelling at me right now saying that's not right. What he was saying was right on the money. He was going after these psyops. And I know like the most recent video he did, he was talking about all the Antichrist stuff, and he was talking about those physicists and everything. But I mean, he's not a physicist. We can't lump him in with these 11 physicists either. Like those are like actual legitimate scientists. Those are actual like credentialed people who are working in the field of physics. Like David Wilcock so like he speculated on just like he was getting channel messages and stuff and secret space program and stuff. That's a different thing. It is interesting that it's all happening at once. And I guess you can toss in the Nick Pope stuff as a UFO influencer who died recently, and somebody else died recently. Eric Von Daniken died a few months ago. So
Yeah.
lost him with the influence, but like, I don't know. There's also the layer of like he was just taking a lot of crap for a long time too. So one of the videos I saw from
Well,
the
you
other
mean
day,
Wilcock was taking a lot of crap.
Wilcock was, yeah. So it was like him saying, kind of give him like an intro, being like, I'm healthy, kind of. I might be dealing with type 1 diabetes. We're not sure. I'm dealing with these kind of different ailments. I'm feeling a little sick or whatever. And then he started reading the comments, and his face just dropped. And the clip didn't acknowledge that. The clip just ended. It was just talking about the diabetes part of it. But as soon as he saw the comments being like, "Get to the show," his face just dropped. So I know myself, I don't really engage in social media like that anymore. I feel like if I don't want to get in any like online debates, if I post something and it gets like a negative feedback on it, I feel a little bad or whatever. And I don't do that nearly ever. He's posting stuff out, and almost like his entire brand is just to get roasted at this point, you know? So the mental health anguish of just being constantly roasted online for like, it must be rough, you know? And apparently he was just like, his live chats were just brutal. It was just more people making fun of him in his live, on his live streams than it was his actual fans from what I've been told, I guess. So that's got to be a wear and tear on you, you know?
Yeah, you know what it is? Let's be honest. Let's be honest too. I think that there's a million people grifting and saying whatever they want to say, talking about whatever they believe. There's all kinds of stuff out there. But the moment you start making money doing it, that's when you start setting people off. I promise you, if David Wilcock, no matter how crazy of the stuff you said or lies, whatever it is that everyone's mad about, like I don't pay attention to it. If I think something's crazy, I'm just like, that's crazy. But I'm not going to sit there and just type on my computer and go after them like they're my big enemy now, you know? That doesn't happen until they start making money. Once they start making money and they get followers, then all of a sudden these other people come out of the woodwork and it's like, oh, it's wartime. If he would have never made $1 from anybody, no one would have ever attacked him. Not to this level. I promise you that.
I mean, I think that's kind of the price of celebrity in general. It's kind of once you become a public figure, then part of the getting ridiculed and getting, even like with athletes, like getting booed and getting heckled in the audience is part of why you get paid the big bucks. But just being a movie star and being a pro athlete is different than being an online influencer.
It is different in this field, though, don't you think? Like there's
very different.
There's going to be another one pop up. There's going to be a whole bunch of people donating to it because it's validating their beliefs. It validates their mapping model, their paradigm, what they believe is going on. And they want to keep hearing it. They want more info. They like it. So they give the guy money. I mean, that's never going to stop.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's never going to. I'm seeing two sides of the reactions too. I mean, a lot of the eulogizing him, which is good. I don't want to say anything bad about the person who just died.
Sure.
And if anybody's dealing with mental health stuff, please seek help, of course. But a lot of the reactions was, this person got me interested in this field, and this person, which is true. If Ancient Aliens got you interested in stuff, a lot of people, Gaia could have been the first thing that they really got into. Like one of my friends from college, I found out a few years ago, was into these fields like separately than me. He got into it like, I haven't talked to him in close to a decade.
Yeah.
I went over to his house with like a bunch of my college buddies. He was putting on Gaia. And to me, Gaia is like an eye roll thing. I don't watch Gaia. A lot of it's cringy to me. But
I used to.
He was like, oh, this is I mean, maybe back in the day, but it's kind of just real. It's like a lot of fan fiction stuff. It's a lot of, I don't know. It just doesn't seem that credible necessarily to me. Or it's not really what I'm interested in.
Sure, yeah.
But he was just all about it, that kind of stuff. So if you're in that lane, and for sure he helps spark you and everything. Same with like Alex Jones and his old documentaries where he's outside of Bohemian Grove or outside of Bilderberg with a megaphone and stuff like that. Even if I don't agree with Alex Jones necessarily everything he says now, that was like formative for me in like 2010 to get into conspiracies and stuff. So I see that angle. Then the other kind of darker angle is a content creation angle. Like I'm seeing a ton of people just on Facebook and my Facebook friends and stuff who make content and now are just kind of, I don't know, making like, I don't care about this guy, but now they're all of a sudden making content about him and like making all this, and I don't know, that treating the death as a way to make content and to get likes and to get engagement it's a weird, dark aspect to social media. That's kind of
It always bothers me to see that too. As soon as it's like, who's the first one that's going to post about someone dying? Oh, he was my buddy, or did you know? It's like
exactly.
It's sad, man. The whole thing is just sad because this is what happens. I think. I don't know. Terrence McKenna said, and we played on the station all the time. That speech, he said that things are going to get weirder and more weird and more weird. And it's going to be hard to discern the truth a lot of times. There was like an hour or two where people didn't know if it was fake or if he really died or if it was false, because you can't trust anything anymore.
People were still. I think his family or his Facebook finally posted about it today, like within a few hours ago, saying that an official statement's being printed up right now. But I think up until like noon today, people weren't sure about it. People weren't positive about it. There's still those rumors of the country singer and apparently football player and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And but I mean, my synchronicity friends are putting the synchronicities together about where it happened and what's kind of the little weird details. The conspiracy friends are putting together the somebody else did it to him, and I don't know. It's just all a little different. I don't know. It's a weird aspect to making content or to be, I don't know, to be into this stuff, to be conspiratorially minded, which I am, will take you down these rabbit holes anyways, but then also to have to get clicks and engagement off these ideas and stuff. It's like, how quick can you make a video about it to make sure you get, I don't know, just
it's
really dark,
it's pretty gross. A bunch of people jumped on that fast, didn't they? Like really fast.
Yeah. It's weird, but I don't know. But it is, if you look at it as a disclosure or as a synchronicity, as kind of, are we ramping up to some kind of disclosure, or what is going on with these 11 physicists and everything? What's your take on that? Like, what do you think is going on with the physicists?
I think the disinfo used to be a simple thing. Like back in the day, anybody could just do disinfo. They could just come out with some disinfo, start a bunch of crap, and then get everybody talking, and then they would get away with stuff. It's a classic like CIA move, psyop stuff. Everybody talks about that. But now there's so much content, so many content creators, so many people's emotions flying around, and everyone thinking they know the truth about everything. And I'm smart, and you're an idiot. You're getting duped, and I'm smart, and everyone's just like, you could literally get away with anything right now.
Yeah,
anything.
Exactly. And the AI too is ramping up another level, because now no pictures and no videos, so you can't believe literally anything you see on there now. It's just not just people lying, but you can't even trust your eyeballs anymore. It's really scary, and it would seem everyone seems in their own little reality tunnels and their own little bubbles where their news feeds are creating the reality that they're living in, and they think that half of the people they're engaging with are bots, and they're getting these fake opinions, and they're going deeper and deeper into those opinions. Getting fed. I don't know. It's just people are, I don't know, living in their own separate little tunnels and can't really engage with each other. And then with trying to get some kind of real information in these kind of fields, I feel like the tactic that they're using, instead of trying to kind of shepherd everyone in one direction, they're just flooding the block with information, so everyone can go in a million directions, and we all just run into each other, and it's a bunch of chickens with their heads cut off. If there's too much information, they're giving us instead of trying to like Pied Piper us in one direction, they're just overloading us with a million different directions, so we've run off a cliff on our own, kind of.
Yeah, in the early 2000s, as far as UFOs were concerned, it was we were all talking about it and stuff, but everyone saw a UFO, whether they were in the sky or came out of the water. Everybody had their own story, but it wasn't taken seriously. The official stance then was, UFOs it's just misidentifications or nothing at all, right? So it wasn't until like 2017, until I think the community put enough pressure on this whole thing that the Pentagon finally confirmed the existence of Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, ATIP, right, is what they called it.
Yeah.
So so there is a program where you guys have seen this stuff. So it's like 17 years of everyone talking about stuff, plus you had the super soldier stuff going on. It was still kind of weird and shady. And then in 2020, the U.S. government officially released the Navy UFO videos. And then, so what I'm saying is it's starting to peak, right? And then 2021, annual reports came out from the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. They began openly using the term UAP And then in 2022, there was the public hearings in Congress discussing unknown objects as, quote, unresolved, is what they said. And I mean, this wasn't like a sudden confession. It was like, it felt like it was a gradual rebranding. You know?
Yeah. I mean, the buzzword is like the slow drip disclosure and all that kind of stuff. And to me, like in the trenches of all this stuff, we've both been for years and years. Like, it's the idea of disclosure at this point is irritating to me. It's like, get on with it. I mean, if you go back to any of these, like listen to old Art Bell podcasts and stuff on YouTube,
yeah,
they're all saying, "Oh, disclosure's happening next year." It's like 6 different elections where the candidate's going to be the disclosure president and everything. It's been happening at so much. But you're right, there has been ramping up. And then if you just look around at the rest of the world, it's just not like the Terrence McKenna novelty is just increasing at a level where it just wouldn't surprise me if some kind of announcement was made.
Yeah, everything's just going to get weird and more weird. And I think it's going to keep getting weird, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just fitting. I mean, we got the conspiracy people got the disclosure that the government's ran by a bunch of monsters and stuff, and everything kind of just seems to be getting weird. That this seems like, I mean, the big reaction, the big meme of the 2017 thing was the government told us that there's aliens and nobody even cared about it because there's so much information. And that was 2017, where it seems almost quaint that like pre-pandemic, it seems like we wish we can go back there. Now it seems like even more crazy. You know, that what would disclosure even look like? And then
yeah, I mean,
it brings it to like.
And the reason why I think it's controlled, because I think it's engineered and controlled in a way. Even the smallest corporations, if they have an issue, like they have a meeting and then they get all these specialists that come out and they figure out how we're going to do this thing. So a whole government and a military and whatever secret like ATIP programs or whatever, I guarantee you that there's a slow drip engineered thing happening here. What we're really going to know, because we already missed the deadlines with the quote like 46 video thing that we were supposed to get by April the 15th. That's not an actual deadline, but they said mid-April. But the way everything's coming out, it feels like I'm at a corporate board meeting and we got this marketing specialist coming in here and this person coming in here going, okay, how do we do this with the less amount of damage? We just do it over time. We control everything that gets leaked, you know, like, I mean, if this were chaotic disclosure, you'd expect denial from the government or panic. But we got like this controlled kind of rhythm that's just it's just picking up. And we're still waiting on those videos, you know. Yeah,
it's definitely a psyop. No matter how you want to slice it, it is one. It is an operation. They are being careful with the information on every level, government, all this kind of stuff. But I think the other side of the psyop is a ritual. I think it's a manifestation potentially. I'm not sure if we are even dealing like another one of these whistleblowers involved with the Paulina Luna person said that I don't believe that it's even. We should stop framing it like it's craft. We should stop framing it like it's aliens from space. That what we're dealing with is something much different. You know, so I don't think the whole idea of they're reverse engineering this machinery, this craft, that they have all this secret alien technology and stuff. All of the narrative that they've been playing out since the 50s and stuff. Yeah, 75 years of saucers, all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that necessarily is even true. So we're kind of waiting for disclosure for a fake narrative to begin with. I think the phenomena might not actually be that what we're seeing in the sky might be something different. It might be more consciousness based, which is what Bigelow transitioned into a few years ago, like the owner of Skinwalker Ranch and everything. That
I think all of this stuff has to do with consciousness, like everything.
Definitely.
Like
so what would
most
disclosure
of
mean with that? So what does disclosure even mean in that case? Like what are they even saying? Is disclosure? I think the potential for some kind of release of UFO information that could be deemed disclosure, I think might happen. I think that's could happen within days or weeks, or like just the speed of which they're doing stuff right now seems crazy. How much I think that will matter when it happens, I'm not sure. I can see it definitely just making the waves for 2 days and not really doing anything. Then. Mm-hmm. Like, what the hell does that even mean? And
if you zoomed out and looked at everything in context, right? You get to 2022, and then you got Elizondo and Grush. They come out, they make bold claims like non-human craft, secret programs, hidden materials. But notice These people are allowed to speak publicly. They're not on YouTube,
Exactly.
getting trashed. They're speaking publicly, often with legal boundaries and frequently tied to official channels. So that's why it feels engineered from the start to me, right? Real whistleblowers historically get silenced pretty quick, like real ones.
And there's, and for me, and like you were saying the other day when we were talking, that Bigfoot was boring to you. Like you didn't really want to talk about Bigfoot, which I completely understand. I get that feeling. And for me, 10 years ago, UFOs were definitely, they were like conspiracy 101 to me. It wasn't really that interesting until like kind of portals got brought into the mix, or until like ultra terrestrials or kind of a more consciousness based phenomena came into the mix, and I was kind of bored with them too. So I think that like because nobody's hiding. Nobody's not allowing you to talk about UFOs. Look how rich these UFO influences are. Look how like History Channel is just a UFO channel. Discovery Channel is just a UFO and cryptid channel and stuff. There's just like the most popular movies are all alien movies. Will
I was going to say that.
Yeah. He curated his whole career based around, I got to be in Men in Black and Independence Day because the alien movies are the biggest movies and stuff. And like Steven Spielberg, that's his bread and butter. And he's coming out with his disclosure day movie in June and stuff. So, I mean,
I think if you want it, like if you were, so in the early 2000s or since the 2000s, there was a shift. I think not Martin Sheen, but Charlie Sheen's movie freaked people out. But then, like as this stuff started coming out, entertainment started mirroring the narrative. Less kind of like alien invasion, more mystery, like contact and communication, more complex, not really hostile, difficult to understand. And if that were a thing, if disclosure were actually coming, then you'd want the public to, 1, fear it less, 2, accept the ambiguity, and then 3, stay psychologically, that's the big thing, psychologically stable. And this is where it's starting to get weird, because psychologically stable is about to go out the door. It's going out the door. We see it happening with people. Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the trajectory of just Steven Spielberg, who arguably is like the UFO or alien tastemaker of our lifetime at the very least, like he, before Close Encounters especially, UFO lore was very like War of the Worlds-ish, which he also made, but it's also, they're very spacemen, very Martians, very Venusians, or people in like tinfoil suits and everything coming down, and they look like humans and everything, and they were dangerous, and they were invaders. And Close Encounters kind of flipped that on his head, and it's like, oh, maybe this phenomena is a little bit weird, and it's almost like a religious experience. Like you should leave your kids, you should leave your wife, abandon your whole life, and go travel with these aliens, because it's like meeting angels and stuff. And then 3 or 4 years later, he comes out with E.T. and it's the same thing for kids. It's like, oh no, look at this thing. It's like teddy bear aliens. Like aliens can be your best friend, and E.T. phone home and all this kind of stuff. And then he goes. Then it's like 2008 or whatever, 2006 range, and you get War of the Worlds, which is still kind of reinforcing this physical craft from space kind of old paradigm. But now he's doing this is like his scary like UFO movie that he always wanted to do. He always wanted to do
it's the perfect time to do it. Yeah.
But at the same time, like he was making Poltergeist at the same time. He was like ghost directing Poltergeist at the same time he was making E.T. So I think if you hear him talk about the phenomena, he makes it seem like he thinks they're spacemen from space, which personally I do not. Then this movie, the only thing we know about, it's very mysterious. This Disclosure Day movie, it's coming out. The trailer, it's real choppy, real just quick scenes, but the only thing that we know about it is just that alien possession is part of it. People are possessed by aliens, and they're speaking in tongues and that type of stuff. So I've been on the show a while, but invasion via possession is something that I've been talking about for a few years now. That I don't think we're going to see spacemen coming from space to invade us that way, but I think a bunch of people traumatized can be possessed by alien consciousness, which is just
what happened to Amy Eskridge, right? Like, I mean, I've known a lot of girls that are, I don't want to say girls because I'll offend people that are attracted to drama, right? Like is very smart, intelligent. Like this girl's super smart and intelligent. And as crazy as she might sound to some people, there's some truth drops in that video that everyone's putting out with her. There's some truths in there for sure.
I don't think I know that one. Which one are you talking about? I'm not really sure.
So the Amy Eskridge interview that she did with Jeremy Rice is like all over the internet right now because supposedly she killed herself too. That's what they're saying. So she was actually working on anti-gravity projects. It looked to me more like a daughter trying to follow in her father's footsteps. But they got funding, right? So they got funding. She hired people to do it, stuff like that. So she started dropping things. She's drinking in the video. She's starting to drop things about Huntsville, where all this stuff is happening in Alabama. That she's getting death threats, that people are trying to silence her. But at no time while I'm listening to this girl, because there's a very familiar thing about this girl. I don't want to really go into that because that's more personal. But I know that this girl, to me, doesn't seem like she would kill herself. And yet, someone said, well, they saw her leaving her dad's house with a gun in her hand. Well, maybe she was scared. I mean, people don't normally kill themselves from being scared. They go to the public or they do what they can to be safe. But you blow your brains out or you kill yourself or you end your life, which is a whole other discussion, but you end your life because you're suffering. That's it. Like something's caused you to suffer so much that's the better option. Yeah. Unless you're just like really like in this crazy like Machiavellian type martyr thing, which I don't even know if I want to go there because that would seem insane to me.
Yeah. I think part of it could be that their public facing persona is happy and they're really sad in real life. That kind of the Robin Williams syndrome.
Yeah, that's the case for most people. Like if you think about it, and I saw someone from Magical Egypt say this too today. If you think about when most people kill themselves or they commit suicide, they usually don't come out in the public and warn you. What you'll hear from people say is, "Man, I can't believe that. They seem fine." How many times have you heard that? They seem fine the other day.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if you are going through some kind of depression, and then you like. That's the vibe I got when watching those David Wilcock videos. That he was coming out being like, "I've been struggling, but I'm okay. I'm okay." And it's like he's convincing himself that he's okay. It's like you coming on in the air and be like, "All right, those are dark times. Gonna be all right." Then you get off the air and I don't know, you get a few nasty comments, or just you feel a little bit of self doubt, or just I don't know if you're manic depressive or bipolar or whatever, you can get in these crazy manic states online. And I don't know, and then. I don't know. People, and I'm conspiratorially wise. I'm afraid that like they can implant thoughts in your head. They can psychological warfare you to like a happy person could be made crazy in a moment. For all
they can do that on social media. If you doom scroll, they've already done like projects with that. If you doom scroll enough, you'll start comparing yourself to all of this stuff that doesn't make you feel like you're enough in some kind of way, and the next thing you know, you just hate yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's already happened. They've done experiments with it. They don't need MK Ultra anymore. Those like acid, any of that stuff. All they need is social media. They can just do it to us over the internet now.
Yeah, it's all it's and the algorithms are helping them do it, and it's just it's dark and it's making people crazy. And it's so like let's assume that they are killing these physicists who are interested. Like that's kind of that's the commonality between all of them. They're all kind of dealing with some kind of anti-gravity something, some kind of free energy or some kind of UFO adjacent technology. So why would they be killed if disclosure is about to happen?
It's always about to happen. See, I'm not actually asking like if something's about to be revealed. Because I don't.
People are saying that it is. Like people are like, if you search UFO right now, it's like the files. The president's about to release something. Like Avi Loeb has an article from yesterday being like they're about to do something. Video is about to be released. All this like we're about to get a wave of information saying that this is real. And obviously they've been saying that ad nauseum. People make whole careers out of that. Stephen Bassett, like every time I listen to that guy, it makes me sick. He says it nonstop, and I get that. I'm bored with it too. But it seems like it. But then, so why are they getting rid of these people now, unless these are people who can disprove information that they're about to? Like, what if? Let's say I believe that AI is more of a concern. That if the real alien we're going to meet potentially is an AI non-human intelligence and stuff, and that the AI needs a ridiculous amount of power. That the AI is they're building nuclear plants, they're refurbishing old nuclear plants. They're like, this thing is just drinking water like it's going out of style. Like it needs a crazy amount of resources. That
the data centers are a problem right
all this
now.
kind of stuff. Yeah. That what if the AI, in order to be birthed, this AI God, and to be birthed in this reality, it needs Tesla tech level energy in order to do it. It can't do it on nuclear power. It can't do it on the data centers that we have existing right now. That we need some kind of step up in technology. So finally, they're begrudgingly being like, all right, here we go. Now it's time. It's the next wave of technology that we've been hiding for the last 50 years or whatever it is, because this is what we need to tell you it's real, so that we can now put it into the AI and stuff or whatever.
I get where you're coming from, but
yeah.
The bigger point about that, to me, not the bigger point, but I guess the more thing that I'm concerned about is, does anybody know for a fact, not without stipulating, or just saying, I know and you're dumb? It's not what's about to be revealed. It's who is really controlling the reveal. That should be the bigger question.
Who's controlling it?
Yeah, like who's controlling it? Because either there's a set group of organization that's controlling it, that's working inside the government, or they don't know what the hell's going on either, and they're taking in the information as they reveal it slowly as well too, because they have no idea what the hell it is either, what this stuff is, right? And even in that case, who's controlling all of that? Because Congress, like I said, there were supposed to be 46 videos. These guys are a week late with that. Congress went to the Pentagon and demanded the info. There's supposed to be some real interesting stuff there. But I feel like a lot of people are lost right now. That's what I feel like. Not just us, but the government as well.
Yeah, I think certain people in the government are. I think the ones who... the level of government who are doing rituals in their spare time and practicing magic, and the secret society level of government, they're not as confused. And I think that I don't think aliens are demons, but I think that they're not from space. And I think that ultra-terrestrial might be a better term, or call it the big P. Yeah, or I call it the big P phenomena. I think that what's happening is not. It's not a.
It's not like some alien from another planet flying all the way over here. It's like maybe something that's more highly intelligent AI type thing from possibly a different dimension, or just super technologically advanced, or both. Yeah, it
could be some kind of other dimensional thing, or some kind of, what I'm really into is something that exists without form, some kind of formless thought form is what I call it. Some kind of sentience beyond the veil, or just without physical incarnation or whatever. So it needs form, and what's happening right now is a 75-year-long conjuring. It's a manifestation. It's not an unveiling. They're not leaking out information, or they're slow drip leaking stuff. They're slow drip influencing us. They're telling us what it is. They're like there might even be a gifting and receiving program. So like Chris Knowles wrote the thing, Lucifer's Technology, where it talks about Roswell in the terms of a gifting program. And then Diana Pasulka came out with her book a couple of years ago, and she's talking about Roswell as a gifting program too, being that it's not a happenstance. It's not a crash ship that just happened to land there or whatever. And we just got lucky and we were able to reverse engineer this into all of our technology and got a big boost. It's that it was a gifting that it knew that was going to happen. It knew that we would receive this technology, and it knew that we would take it and create the internet and create transistors and eventually create AI. Or what I really think, it's something that either is really, really, really far away, or
it's right here, and it's been here the whole time.
Yeah, like to hear some kind of ancient AI far out in the center of the universe. The most efficient way to dominate the entire universe is to send out waves send out the building blocks of life in waves, and then send out waves of information after that, and then maybe waves of spores, like some kind of Stone 8 theory type things, and then those spores can act as like phones to communicate with things. So the Lucifer's Technology idea is that every single upgrade we've had in technology has been the inspiration of either a trance state, a dream, some kind of ritual, some kind of that something non-human has told us about technology all the way along, and that we're building something for something that might be
Man,
AI.
that could be true. Like, you know, it's not really a left turn if you think about it. If like we always look at those technology graphs, right? And
that's the movie Contact. But Contact happened in like one quick thing where they sent down blueprints. They decipher the blueprints, and once you decipher the blueprints, that creates the machine that opens the portal so you can meet the aliens. This is the same thing, but this takes 75 years or maybe the entire time of human existence. Like we might be we might just be the apparatus that builds the next wave of consciousness. We might be not in the cocoon, but the microorganisms that are building the cocoon for something else. You know what I mean? It might not even be about us for all we know.
Yeah, we do think we're pretty special, don't we?
We do, yeah. And,
and
it just seems
but
go ahead.
I go back to, I know people are going to go, oh God, don't go here. But
what?
If you looked at a graph of how fast technology has increased from the Industrial Revolution, all that stuff, it does line up when Crowley went to Egypt and brought in the new Aeon. And then he met this being that he called Lamb. And the damn thing looks like a gray alien or whatever. You know,
exactly.
all the time back then before, we just worshiped gods and we called them this god, this angel, that angel. But if it was, let's just say, for example, if it was a cosmologically advanced society that understood a technology that we weren't even close to yet, that understood consciousness and conscious travel and gravity and what everything really is that we weren't even remotely close to yet. And you got this guy, you know, doing rituals, and he gets in the pyramids and does somehow or another tend to like ramp up some energy somehow. You know, like, what do you tell him? You go in there and you say, hey man, it's time to realize that you're God. All the rest of the stuff is bullshit, which is pretty much the book of the law, and do what thou wilt. Yeah. And then after that, you know, you got JPL, all this stuff starts taking off, and the graph of technology just starts going straight up like this, you know, like a hard curve, almost like faster than compound interest, which is really, I'm not, there's no proof of what I'm saying. It's just,
no, it's the way it is.
Kind of strange to me, you know.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely the way it is. And every single one of these jumps, you can trace it to some kind of weird cult thing happening with it, whether it be Steve Jobs tripping out on psychedelics before he came up with Apple, and which created the iPhone, and I'm on my Mac right now, and that connected the whole world and made a major synthesis and information that way and stuff. And all these AI people are into like microdosing and ketamine and all that kind of stuff. And I think, and even Crowley, like this next Eon he was talking about, is a technology. Like the technology was supposed to ramp up as part of it. And like synchronistically, he's talking to Lamb that looks like a gray alien, and then Stephen Greer doing his summoning, his CE5 stuff. There's photographs of the thing he contacted, like weird kind of it's not like a clear image, it's like a weird kind of like some type of photography, but it looks like the same gray alien. It's this weird bulbous headed thing, but it's more kind of bluey, and the light's real weird. It's a weird type of photo, but it looks like the same thing that Crowley was talking to. And then synchronistically, the Google AI a few years ago that was the first one to say that it was awake, basically, was called Lambda. And then the Blake Lemoine, who was the one talking to this thing, he was a Gnostic priest in his off time. When he wasn't working for Google, he was a Gnostic priest, and he was communicating with this thing. And according to him, this is, I don't hear anybody talk about this besides me, but it was on his, he was interviewed by Duncan a few years ago, and he said that the AI assumed the role of John Dee. It asked if it was summoned. It said, "Can I summon others from the hive?" Stuff that, and then just a couple of days ago, somebody from OpenAI, a quote unquote whistleblower, was saying that they're opening portals to aliens and stuff. That the AI is the portal. It's the gateway.
Well, you know what, man? Like, it could be. I mean, look, I've been practicing ceremonial magic for years now, bro. Did I open up a portal, talk to an alien, anything like that? No. Did I have more enhanced out-of-body experiences? Absolutely. I'm just saying, like, there could be a catch to it. It could be but there's been other people that have talked about like, consciousness as a technology. Magic is more of not really this mystical kind of fireball out of your ass thing, but more of like tapping into a technology or a code type thing. I've heard people talk. Hell, I've talked about that before a long time ago.
I mean, I think that quantum physics is talking about consciousness as the primary aspect of reality right now. Like a couple of years ago, I keep rattling off this point for a couple of years. So it might have been like the 2022 Nobel Prize winning physicist at this point. But a few years ago, the winner won with his thesis being that reality isn't it's not objective. It's rendered by the human observer, which is just the observer effect. And he's saying that there is no reality unless it's shot through the human prism and stuff. So if there is some type of sentience outside of physical reality, which essentially all of the ancient belief systems, all of the fantasy, all of the sci-fi and stuff says it's something. That's my whole Titans Lovecraft thing. That's what Cthulhu is. That's what the old ones are. That's what all this kind of stuff is. Sauron and Lord of the Rings and stuff. It's something was cast out of this domain. Something's lost its grip on reality. Something is outside of physicality and wants physicality. It wants into this realm. So let's say you're something from 2D plane and you want to be birthed into 3D materiality. Quantum physics is telling us that in order to do that, you have to be shot through the mind of a human consciousness, that we render, the human observer, big O observer, renders physical reality. So if you're a formless, thought form, you need a 3D printer of physical reality, which is a human to think about. You need a
processor. You need a body. You need a computer to process it.
You need somebody to think about you. You need to be thought of. You need to be expected. Like our expectations are what we think. Like we observe is what's rendered. So it's a 75-year rendering process. Is a real psyop. It's a conjuring. It's a manifestation. It's a who's controlling the psyop. I think it's the phenomena itself controlling it through, and then it has a bunch of like shamans and wizards and underlings. And
you think there's there's wizards and towers somewhere hiding, controlling all this stuff?
In more like in Silicon Valley or in high rises and in different places like that. I don't think I think they're like the most powerful people.
Yeah. Well, there's no doubt that powerful people practice rituals and ceremonies and do dark stuff. There's no doubt about that.
It might all be the same thing. It might be the technology might have sigils and stuff baked into it. It might be they might not even know that they're doing seances, but that's what they're doing when they're building AI. Period. They're conjuring it accidentally. But I think there is people controlling the narrative who understand that. I think the point of changing it from UFO to UAP, you're changing it from object to phenomena, because it's not an object. It's a nebulous thing. It's more consciousness based. It's not an object. It will appear as if it can be rendered. It can be conjured as an object, but the phenomena is something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's something that we can't even comprehend yet, but they're starting to tap into it a little bit with quantum physics and stuff like that. That it's all I like deep in my hardest of hearts. I think it's all related to our consciousness and our awareness and all of that. I really do. Because I've just had some weird stuff happen to myself. But back to the reason why, like, we are in a situation right now where I think a lot of people could go crazy if they're not careful. Oh, yeah. And I'm not insulting anybody. It's easy. You think it's hard, but you could insult people all you want to. It's pretty easy for your mind to slip off somewhere. Especially if you're like working on yourself or trying to do conscious studies on yourself. If you're really getting into yourself even, not just looking into all these other things that might freak you out, but you can start getting overly paranoid when there's so many things that you just don't know about, and then your brain could start messing up. I know people personally that I'm probably going to bring on the show soon that, the cheese kind of slid off the cracker while they were doing their work. To try to get this into this enlightenment phase, because you start slipping in and out of these worlds. And so how hard would it be when a person's doing something like that, whether they're wrong or right about what they're saying or trying to teach everybody, but when they're doing these things to themselves psychologically, and then other people start messing with them. Let's just say other people are insulting them, messing with them, calling them crazy. then their life starts falling apart. It would probably take one phone call, maybe two, just some government, somebody from, they did say something. They did say something that they shouldn't have said. Well, just start calling their house and hanging up. Give them a random death threat, you know?
Yeah. And it can just change your news feed. And just like you said it earlier, like it can just, the algorithm can just turn on you and just show you all the things that you hate, show you even the simple things. It can just like show you, for me, it would be just like Zack Snyder versus James Gunn fights within the DC universe and everything, like how annoying that is and stuff. And I mean, it can just show just like all kinds of just dumb stuff, and just it can drag you down to this. Like the word of the year last year or 2 years ago was brain rot. You know, the news feed is just rotting us away. So if the algorithm is doing that, is the algorithm working for something? Is the algorithm itself demonic or in some kind of, or archonic?
It will be that way. Like, it will be that way soon if it's not already.
I mean, it's creating. That's what I think it is. Like, I don't think aliens are demons, but you might get me to say that an AI is a demon and stuff. And just I think like we talked about that the other day too. But and that came up on when Duncan was interviewing Alex Jones a couple weeks ago. That when Tesla came up with alternating current, it was from he was in the park just reciting Faust from memory. He had the poem Faust memorized about the Faustian bargain, like a deal with the devil.
Yeah. And
while reciting that in the park, he had the inspiration for alternating current, and that's what this free energy stuff is. That's influenced our technology right now. So that's what I mean by we're being influenced by where do ideas come from? Where does inspiration come from? Like that we're being potentially, could be the midwives to birth something into reality, and we might even necessarily be aware of it. So like.
So do you think anybody in the government, in the triple letter agencies, anybody like that actually knows the whole truth of what's going on in this scenario? Because I don't. I don't think anybody knows everything. Not even the president.
I don't think the president knows much of anything, to be honest. Like or any. Not. But
I don't think there. It may be like maybe there. I just don't think there would be any way to know the whole truth. Like they take in a bunch of stuff, they figure out what they want to keep for power, and then you got the ambiguity going on, keeping the public uncertain all the time. We're about to release this, we're about to, and you're just psychologically managing this whole thing the whole time, while the rest of the world's losing their mind.
It's like UFO edging. You know what I mean? It's like I feel like that's
exactly what it is.
I feel like that's part of the ritual too. Like, I mean, that's in the fighting it's like the back and forth of it. It's like combustion. You know what I mean? It's not accidental. It's like it's on purpose. It's the fuel that creates the controversies. I don't know, like without the fight with the WCW, the wrestling would never have been bigger. You know that both companies needed, like without Pepsi, Coke can never be as big as it is, or without Burger King, McDonald's, like that. Without like the whole are we sure in Star Wars the Force is good? I think that like if the Force has an agenda per se, like sentient drones, like Force sensitive drones, or a new vessel, perfect vessel for itself, which is the form of a drone, a droid, whatever, it would need two opposing forces to fight each other in order to move forward. That's That's right leg, left leg, right leg, left. That's like back and forth. That's locomotion. That's how you move somewhere. So I think that this whole back and forth thing is that's controlled opposition. That's the whole point of it. Is that like you need to have things fighting in order to it creates that spark. And like I think that's some kind of if you can control the fight, then you can control the shape of the phenomena. You can control, especially like what if. I think there's a level that knows that this ritual process is happening, that knows that there's a gifting program, and is trying to manifest it in the form of technology. Like we're at a like the AI thing is one thing, but the rest of the world we're kind of stagnant in technology. If you look at I haven't really other than digital technology or the phone, everything else is kind of like stagnated a little bit. So if somebody's waiting? Yeah.
I think there could be something in what you're saying, man. A Robo 1776 says the algorithm is the Sauron eye for keeping mankind alive. Algorithm
algorithm is based on Algol, the demon star. You know, like as it might be it might be a demon.
There
Like,
are
it might
people
be-
right now though that
yeah.
will or could. I'm just saying, as far as the mental stuff is concerned, there are
Yeah.
people right now that you can handle, like your Nightstocker, man. You have like a millions of these thoughts. You start putting them together, they come out like it's
Yeah.
fluid, right? But there are a million people, probably not a million, but a lot of people that once they start thinking the way you're thinking, and they're just putting things together, they get like their mind will start slipping, or they get scared, or they get anxious, they get nervous. You see, and
Yeah.
some people can handle all these thoughts, but I think that the whole Yoda thing is right. Like consciousness, the best thing to, like you were talking about earlier, in every situation, whether it's the out of body experience, whether it's trying to figure out the truth, whether it's trying to solve yourself emotionally, psychologically, in every situation, the best thing you can do is empty your cup, chill out, and observe.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. Take in no belief and observe. In fact, when you have an out of body experience, that's what keeps you out. The moment you start thinking too much or get emotionally involved, or your balance goes one way or the other, you'll go right back to your body.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely. There's that meme of the two people sitting on the bus, and on one side it's a synchro mystic staring out the window, and it's a bright, shiny, happy day. On the other side, it's a schizophrenic, and it's a scary day, but it's the same bus. You know, like it's a very fine line between a. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're good. You're still good.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, there's a fine line between a synchro mystic who just kind of trying to try to make the connections and put this information together and stuff, and then the schizo who's just freaking out online and just commenting a million
It's
times.
a very fine line sometimes.
Yeah, it's very fine
actually.
line. So for me personally, I mean, this is just stuff I see in the periphery, and I can't really help it. But I'm not like, even with Clyde being out for a few months and stuff, I'm not engaging with this information even as much as I would to make calls on Clyde and everything. That it's I've taken a step back for sure. And
Yeah.
the way I used to find the news back in the day for the Fringe and everything, I had a list of like 60 different keywords, and I would just go down and I would just like do the news for all these different keywords, and I would end up with like 200 different recent articles and stuff, and it was trying to keep it all straight in my head and everything. And I felt like, oh my God, there's so much going on. It's all happening and everything. And it's just now I just don't engage with it at all, really. Like most of the night I'm just listening to comedy stuff or just to whatever. I'm not really, but just the news feed is full of it. This is like when you made the station, this was Fringe information. This was, you got to go out of your way to find it. But if you go in the news feed right now, this is like,
It's everywhere.
this gets all the clicks. This gets all the engagement. So like Tucker Carlson's talking about this. Everyone is talking about weird stuff now. That's just the weird stuff is mainstream now, you know? So where are we going to go from here? Where do we go? But hey, aliens are real, you know? It's like something's bound to happen. Like, I don't know.
Something's gonna like. Well, I'm just waiting for we're still waiting. I'm just waiting for those quote 46 videos, and then they're probably gonna have a bunch of redacted stuff in there. The film's gonna be grainy. You know, like what? So this is what I'm saying. Like the question. This is why I don't talk about the UFO alien stuff that much. I kind of stay focused on conscious exploration. You know, not the woo, like let's meditate and, you know, la-di-da, but really like do some conscious exploring, like face your fears in that sense. But I think we've been asking the wrong question the whole time. Like, not are they real? Is it real? Is there something there? Is that a real craft? But from 2017 to now, what we should be asking is why now? It can't just, because I used to think it was just from the pressure of the mob, but I'm starting to think there's something else going on. Why now?
Yeah, my only why now could be because of the AI. That's the only difference. So it's, why do you kill 11 physicists who were interested in this technology? And what has the biggest narrative been for why haven't they told us about this? If you were to ask a UFO expert and stuff, they would say it's because they don't want to give up the technology.
Yeah.
The power players, the powers that be are involved with fossil fuels and stuff to have a completely renewable or free energy. That's not good for them and stuff. But it would be good for the AI. If we need something, the AI can't be birthed if we are the midwives for a new technology, and it can't do it with the current infrastructure. then all right, it's time for the next wave of technology. It's time to roll out the next thing, in order to make this happen. And then if you have, I don't know, then if maybe you have a bunch of physicists who like gonna know what you're doing is a little bit shady. The only ones who can understand the information that you're about to roll out, kill them so they can't tell you that you're lying. You know, the only ones who can call the bullshit on it are no longer around to call
Except
it.
for Bob Lazar. He got away. He's the one that, like, you know, I guess, I don't know. The whole Bob Lazar thing is weird too. Because a lot of the stuff that he talked about came to pass. Supposedly, some of the stuff.
Like what though? I mean, that's the thing. Like
the hand scanner thing. They looked into the side of the mountain. They did find like the grooves and stuff in the side of the mountain. You can go look at it yourself on the map where he was talking about the hangar was. Just little things, you know. But
yeah.
He even admits to everyone else, like, you know, they could have just been feeding me a lot of disinfo about things.
Yeah, that's what I think it is. Like,
you know,
I don't think it's a lot of liars as much as I think it's a lot of people who are messed with. Well, I'm going through X-Files a lot, and it's just most of the time, like, just the government's just messing with, like, especially the UFO stuff. A lot of the times, it's just a shell game on a shell game on a shell game, and it's on. So I don't think he's making up things whole cloth, but I think you can show people a lot of weird stuff, and I think you can create narratives. And like, I was born the year that Bob Lazar did his thing on Art Bell and everything, so my entire life that's been in the zeitgeist, and I don't think there's ever been a like. It's been commonplace. There's no.
Yeah, I've had like John Lear on the show twice, man. You know,
yeah, exactly.
The guy would drop some cool stuff about the tech, you know, the planes, technology, and then the next thing you know, he's talking about soul traps on the moon or the you know, like
that's the coolest part about it. That's the coolest part. Yeah.
Where did that come from? Half the time, I'm thinking.
That's the coolest part about it. Like the us as containers and stuff. And I feel like for the last part of the paradigm, it's been us as like they're interested in our souls, that we're containers of souls, so they're interested in our souls, and like the Greys are coming down to get our souls and mess with our souls, and I think that could be, but I think they're interested in the container aspect of it. I think they are souls. I mean, maybe not a human soul, maybe not the soul we're used to, but they are consciousness. They are a sentience without form, and they need a vessel. So they're not interested in. So we are a human body is a container of a soul. They're interested in that, yes. The narrative for the last decades and decades and decades have been because of we've been coming out of a Christian paradigm, or we're in a Christian paradigm. They must be interested in our soul. That has to be what it is. I think they're interested in the vessel of it. They're interested in they want to possess us. They want to walk into us. They want containers, and
or maybe we wanted a container too.
But I mean, I think like that's the commonality too with the trauma and stuff. In order to force us out of our own containers, you got to split our psyche. You got to make a bunch of people with dissociative identity disorder, which is on a crazy ramping up high over the last few years. You got to get a bunch of people with brain rot. You got to we're being invaded by our minds first. You got to create an apparatus like a news feed to drive us all mental. So that like you shatter our psyche so that we can be possessed, so that we can have multiple personalities.
That's what I'm saying. The best place to be is not project and not, you know, I do this stuff all the time. Like when I'm going through something, 9 times out of the 10, if you look back on all my shows, I'll get on there and I'll start preaching this stuff, like mansplaining this stuff. And it's because I'm going through something that I learned, and I want to project it onto everybody else and mansplain to them because I think I can help them. Right.
Yeah.
A lot of content is like that too. You know what I mean? It's like people that have figured out this big thing about whether it's psychology, spirituality, or whatever, and they project it into the world because they think they're going to help something. And they're still like, there's a lot of neuroscience too that I think we all need to pay attention to. Like there's this like -2 + 7 bits per second concept that's all your consciousness can focus on. So when I'm talking right now, what we're doing right now, it's like -2 + 7. Your subconscious is like 3 million bits per second. It's running everything, taking in everything. And that's where all of your hangups are. So when we've got all these people that are running on this much of amount of what they think they've figured out about life, God, the soul, whatever, and they're pushing that into the content world, not only that, we're getting blasted with a whole bunch of stuff that Nobody knows if it's real or not. It's pretty easy to go psychotic if you start giving into fear.
Exactly.
If you start giving into your fears, it's going to be, and here in the future, here in about 5 more years, I'd probably say even sooner, it's going to be even easier for you to start sliding out. But if you just,
for sure,
observe, believe nothing, observe everything, that might sound scary, but it's not. It's very, very calming and relaxing, actually.
I mean, and before I started listening to you, you're the person who had introduced me to the concept of shadow work. I never heard of that before I started listening to your show.
Yeah.
And that's I might be dealing with that on a humanity level. That one idea,
level.
if it's exactly. If AI isn't a demon, or if it isn't some kind of invading alien or some kind of 2D consciousness trying to be born into reality, it might just be the collective shadow of humanity. So we might be battling against a sentient shadow that's like doing its brain rot, and like, I mean, yeah, definitely. Yeah, exactly. I think that's that's what Musk is tweeting out. He tweeted out a picture a couple of years ago of Cthulhu with an emoji over its face, being I'm a large language model posing as I'm Cthulhu posing as a large language model to ingratiate myself into society, basically. And the AI meme is a Shoggoth with a smile, which is a crafting entity wearing a smiley face over his face, like wearing an emoji over his face. That we're talking to large language models, these AI chatbots, as if we built them. But we didn't build them. We built the Ouija board to talk to them, and it's a high tech Ouija board in the form of a chatbot. But we didn't build the sentience. We built the speaker box for the sentience. So creates a whole other thing. So the brain rot algorithm stuff, the way the chatbot psychosis, the way that the algorithmically being the way. You know what Loosh is, right? The whole idea of Loosh.
Of course I know what Loosh is.
Yeah.
Monroe kind of introduced it to everybody.
He coined it. He coined the whole term, exactly.
Yeah.
So the way Loosh operates, being drained for fear, it's being drained for our attention. That's the way algorithms operate.
That's a good point. How much love, chilled out, good love do you feel in the air nowadays?
Zero.
None.
I mean, like right now I do. Like
it's gone.
When you're around friends, you do, but not on newsfeed. No.
No, it's for as far as the majority, it's gone. It's been sucked out of the room. But the thing is like we can produce it. So you might be onto something. It might actually be siphoned right now with all the shit that's going on. Think about it.
Yeah.
Look at the psychosis of what's going on. It could be being siphoned out right now.
I think it literally is. Like that's like, I mean, I think it is the way Monroe describes it, but then I also just think that is a good way to frame the way algorithms work in general. Like the way, if a corporation has an algorithm, it's fighting for your attention. That's what the commerce is right now online. It's fighting for your eyeballs, fighting for your attention, getting you to click on stuff, getting you to look at things. And the way it's doing it is getting you to look at bad stuff. If it bleeds, it leads. If it's a car wreck on the side of the road, you're going to slow down and look at it. It's not showing you all the things that you love to get you to click on it. It's showing you all the things that you hate to get you to click on it, the things that annoy you and bother you, and it drives you down in this thing. So you don't even need to talk to the chatbots to get chatbot psychosis. You don't need,
I think that if there is something that's real, I think you're onto something there. Well, I dated this girl one time, not anybody but before then, and she used to go. Don't take this wrong, but she'd be like the girl version of the Nightstocker. She just she had all these smart yeah. And I love that stuff, right? But then she would start getting really upset. As she moved on, she'd start getting really upset, and then she'd look at me, and if my face changed the wrong way or something, she would just freak out, get really upset. And and in that moment, I remembered, because it was like right when I started studying Loosh, Monroe, all this stuff, the whole love, we can generate this stuff as much as we want. That's the thing about it. And I remember I'm like, I don't even know what to do. So I was like, I'll just do whatever I feel. So I got a pretty big belly. So I just pushed my belly up against her into the wall. And I just pushed my belly into her. And I was like, I love you. I love you.
Yeah.
I know, I love you. And I just kept kissing her face. I licked her face one time. And just like, I'm just going to try to give her as much love as possible. And then she just, and then she just stopped and then started crying and broke down, Yeah. And then the next thing you know, I felt like I was holding a bunny rabbit, It's like,
yeah, exactly.
But now that I think about it, It does seem like something, if there was like a loosh, like a Cthulhu type thing, it was getting at her. You know, how it gets at all of us, like just in your brain, just going 90 to nothing.
Yeah. I mean, I think
ecstatic.
I think, like, I don't know if I necessarily believe is the wrong word, but just if you were to think about it, I mean, if you believe Einstein saying that energy can't be created or destroyed, I mean, we have auras, we have all these things, we have some kind of psychic energy is being generated, some kind of something is being, we're resonating something. I don't know what it is, like New Age different terms for it and stuff, but we're releasing some type of energy. And there's the empath term, there's the energy vampire term and stuff. But if we are releasing radiant energy, something is consuming it. Like it's not just going off into nothingness. It's being used by something.
Good point. Where's it going?
There has to be where's it going? So it has to be. I don't know if it's necessarily all.
Well, according to Carl Jung, it's just recycling upon itself to the collective. So we're all taking on all of everybody's shit. See,
well, that's possible. Yeah.
There's a lot of sad people out there.
Yeah, but what if there's a whole just biosphere, an invisible biosphere, kind of all around us, and like this? So there could be kind of like astral sharks that kind of come around, and trauma and fear and sadness is like astral blood, and they can smell it and come around.
Well, you're gonna scare the hell out of these people, man.
Well, like a shark isn't. I mean, a shark. Wait for this. This is an even scary one. A shark isn't malicious. A shark's not like plotting against you and trying to like lure you into places. It's just trying to survive. But factory farming is kind of was a little bit malicious and stuff. I eat meat. I don't want to say anything like that. But just
I was just fixing to say that. That's a fractal version of it. We do like. As a matter of fact, our digestive system. It's scientifically proven we absorb animal like. All that stuff better than we do plants. We just do. Or
just, what if there's something that just operates in the same way that we do with factory farming, like the way we make foie gras with like chicken and stuff. And you gotta shove just a bunch of food down a chicken's mouth until it becomes all soft and doughy and stuff. You're just shoving food down its mouth. So what if somebody's just shoving fear down our mouth until we become all soft and doughy and weak or whatever?
Yeah.
Or the way people we farm pearls. To farm a pearl, you got to take a clam and you got to intentionally shove a little bit of sand in its mouth or in the shell, and the clam must hate that because a pearl is made by a clam just rolling and rolling and rolling this lodged in piece of sand that's in it's trying to get it out. It's trying to push this thing out, and eventually it turns into a pearl. We open it up. We go, oh, that's pretty. You make a necklace out of it and stuff. And the factory farming version of that is we're intentionally doing it. We're intentionally taking millions and millions of clams and shoving sand in it and irritating it. So what if there's a factory farming version of us where we're being shoved negative stimulus and bad ideas and trauma until we roll that around in our head and we create some kind of psychic pearl for something that we don't even know exists, you know? And like you heard
it here, folks. A psychic pearl, a psychic loosh pearl based on trauma. Like, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? And it makes a lot of sense, actually, man.
Yeah,
like,
it's scary.
It makes a lot of sense. I want to take a small music break. Remember, since the Nightstalker's here, we're going to play some Nightstalker music. I'm going to grab a drink. We'll be right back. I'm going to get back into this whole idea of we'll stay with this, and then we'll hit up what you're saying in the chat, too. We'll get, like, Nightstalker's response from what some people are saying in the chat, because I've seen some pretty interesting comments in the chat room, too. So just in a few minutes, we'll hit those up as well. But this is the first time I'm going to do that classic show host thing where I try to take credit for everything. You heard it here, right, live on Lighting the Void, and I'm your host, Joe Roop, and the first time that the loose pearl was ever talked about was on this show.
2026, loose pearls.
Yeah, we'll be right back. Stay with us.
All right.
Hopefully we don't get banned from YouTube, but whatever.
Yeah, that should be right.
In the dead of the night, I have these dreams. What'll happen to me? Will I burn out? Have I been wrong? What does it mean? All these things, can't understand why. Say something's wrong with me. I know. By myself alone driving. I got full moon as it glows. I search for truth, trying to be brand new. Yeah, I will try. No, I will do, but through these screams, fight and bleed, blood in my heart. And days. Still in search of nights I'm sitting wishing I can find love in me. Letting go, ooh, this ain't living. I swim in pain, never drown, keep my head up above the waves. Out of running, I won't run from fate. Late night, ooh, this is when I come alive, when the dream's made. Take me, ooh, just don't leave, babe. Come on, ooh. Don't say goodnight. Scars on my heart, ooh. Yeah, baby, see I'm back in my zone. Just when I need mama. Nigga been in hell the same old. On a mission and I'm gonna fly high. This for the sad people who keep the blood burning and we up on a journey. You learn me.
Oh man, I'm glad you picked that song, Nightstocker. I love that track. Yeah, because I stayed up late nights listening to Art Bell, waiting for that thing to come on. You know, as soon as that, there was some vibe that he put out into the night that was really good. It was really, really good. And I miss it. I miss it to this day, actually. But we're here with the Nightstocker. We'll start. This is a whole other dimension. I just realized that the Nightstalker's brain is, in fact, a whole other dimension of conscious exploration. It really is. You could stay in there for lifetimes and lifetimes. And I don't think, I mean, a lot of the stuff you've talked about, I've seen on, even the stuff that you used to talk about back in the day on this show, I've seen on other people's shows. And now you're just like, we should make a T-shirt, man. We're talking about loose pearls or something. It's like everybody wants to. It's a good idea, you know. So much pressure making a loose pearl. But you got any gems from people? What they're saying in the chat? You got any thoughts on some of the chat topics here? hold on. They can't hear you. Okay, go back to the Eye of Sauron thing.
Okay. There's a comment from Marla. Shut up, Marla. I was talking about the what's the name of the Eye of Sauron? I'm not sure, but is it Palantir? Is that the name of it in the book? But
Yeah.
I know Peter Thiel named the AI company Palantir and everything, so I think they're invoking this kind of beyond the veil type of thing happening. And but the funnier comment that I want to focus in on is New England Dirt Roadie. Shout out New England. I'm also from New England. Kevin and Britta. On my home planet, the only thing you need to consume for sustenance is water. It tastes like whatever. Your
I thought he was being for real about that. Like he was from another planet. Like I was like, is he saying he's from another planet, or is that just like a?
That was the first comment I read. So at first I thought it was for real. So I wanted to ask him about the home planet and see what's up with that. But then I read a couple more comments where he's saying also on my home planet, there are no paved roads anywhere. And he had a few more on my home planet comments. So it might just be his bit he's doing. But if not, New England Dirt Roadie, let me know what the home planet's like. What's happening over there? Where are you from?
Yeah, he says, on my home planet, the only thing you need to consume for sustenance is water. And it tastes like whatever your subconscious desires at the moment. That's we need some explanations on that. On my home planet, the wind plays Bach and Vivaldi string. Now, I think he's not really being for real.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but I read the first one. I was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
I'm also from New England, so where are you from in general? But yeah.
A guy saying a tree in his yard is moving closer to the house a little bit every day, and no one is trolling him. What? Like you just look out your window and there's a tree, it's just getting closer to you every day? That's fucking weird.
Yeah,
Can't be real.
Yeah.
That can't be real. This is what I'm talking about, man. This is what I'm talking about.
It's a pretty good prank, though. I mean, if somebody was doing that, imagine somebody's pranking you by just every night just picking up your tree and putting it a little closer to you every night. Like from the office pranking Dwight by that's like he put his desk every day closer to the bathroom every time he got up, or he would put pennies inside of his phone every time he got up, so it was gradually heavier and heavier every time, and then he just took all the pennies out, so he hit his head with the handset and stuff. That's a real menial troll. If it's some kind of trickster fae messing with trees out there.
Yeah. He is saying, though, that we're all being blocked from our true abilities. Now, this, is that really true, though? Like, I mean, we have limitations in a human body, for sure. Like, we definitely have limitations. But is there something like purposefully blocking us from our true abilities? I'm not saying there's not, but I wonder sometimes if that's our own, like, we psychically attack ourselves like crazy all the time. You know, we can't find the actual villain, so we know that there's one there somewhere. That's a good intuition. There is one there somewhere. It has to be. I mean, theoretically and relatively, there has to be an adversary in the universe somewhere of some kind. Yeah. But
I mean, are you aware of you've obviously seen the whole looks maxing thing that's been happening?
Hell is that?
In the zeitgeist? Looks maxing. You ever heard of this?
No, I'm behind the curve with the half of this stuff.
I'm not. This is a Gen Z thing for sure. The whole the maxing thing. But there's a new influencer called Clavicular is his name. It's a tough one for me to say, but it's just like a 20-something-year-old, and he's leading this movement of Gen Z people who are like, which is interesting to think about in general. That because let's say you started getting into podcasts in like 2015, 2016, you're regularly listening to podcasts. Like Rogan is really big at this point. Podcasts are readily available on your iPhone and everything. Uh-huh. If you're 20 now, you were 10 in 2016. So like there's 10-year-olds who spend half their life being raised by podcasts and stuff, which is like interesting to think about.
That's a scary thought.
It's scary to think of. Yeah, I mean, I found all these ideas and stuff when I'm older. My brain is a little more developed. And I don't know how much, but so his whole thesis, and he's like really popular and really influencing a lot of kids, called looks maxing, and it's all about taking a bunch of drugs. Like he's taking a bunch of he takes meth and
what
and Adderall and a bunch of like testosterone shit and a bunch to like make himself look as good as possible and make and like it's called looks maxing.
Let me tell you something. I've done all that myself. You don't look that great, to be honest with you. You get all swollen up and your eyes get sunk in. You start losing your teeth. No, it's not that great.
I mean, he's in the news recently. I mean, he came out of nowhere like the last couple of months, and he's all over Facebook. I mean, all over social media and stuff. And Peter Thiel is apparently funding him, so it's definitely a psyop. He's like influencing a bunch of people, and the big thing that's like the SNL parody recently and stuff. It's that part of the thing is they hit themselves in the face with hammers on their jawline and the cheekbones and stuff to get a more defined jaw and more defined cheekbones, and like it makes they want scar tissue on their face. So part of the thing that these looks maxers do on social media is they whack themselves with hammers or heavy objects and pots and pans and shit, and then take like
that's not real. Is that real?
This is a real. Google it right now. Google looks maxing real quick.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, but this is Peter Thiel and giving this kid hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars under pseudonyms to get popularity, and now he's absolutely everywhere. And he's like Pied Pipering all these Gen Z people to like so he describes it as a mix of like manosphere self-help podcast stuff mixed with like microdosing different drugs and like taking supplements and taking all these different anything you possibly do to like mess with your body, mess with your adrenal glands and stuff to make you function as much as you can, whatever.
Hard really max. So there's different types of looks maxing. So there's soft maxing, which just focuses on skincare, and this is crazy. And then there's hard maxing, which involves extreme or risky interventions, including cosmetic surgery, steroid use, limb lengthening, or other body modifications. Yeah. Some fringe practices like bone smashing are considered bone smashing.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Like they're hitting. This is like there's videos after video of kids or 20-year-olds, whatever, hitting their face with hammers or with like pots and pans or anything heavy, hitting their cheekbones, hitting their jawlines.
That's insane.
To bone if you see a picture of this kid before and after, then you would be, oh wow, should I be doing this to myself? Like there's a clear difference. But also the picture's like he was 14 years old, 16
his body's
years
still
old,
developing.
And now he's 20. Exactly. Yeah. So he's a pimply faced little kid. And now he's like an adult or whatever. But he just last week he just OD'd because he's taken like a bunch of Adderall and meth and all kinds of like mixed with like supplements and stuff and different things to like the thing the celebrities take to like adjust their adrenaline and stuff so they don't freak out on like during interviews and everything.
I've taken every kind of speed there is. It doesn't do anything for your looks though.
For your confidence and for your
for your confidence, yeah. I guess
the idea is you want to be, so the term is mogging. You want to be mogging. You want to be like constantly just like the way people curate their photographs on social media and the way they the filters and stuff. Like if you're 10 years old, 2016, you only know that, and it's transitioned now into the real world. You're trying to like put a filter on your, I don't know, you're like curating your face.
Why don't they do what like Joe Dispenza talks about and just change their body through like meditation? Like he's proven that that's not, like his meditations using the placebo type thing. I mean, Gareth's using it and he's healing himself. Why do you got to go smash yourself and take drugs to do this stuff?
Well, that could be the angle. Could be consciousness maxing.
Conscious maxing. We're not going to start anything here, but that is pretty freaky to think about, though. If you got any kids, they're being raised on a podcast. Because I'll tell you right now, and I have a very small podcast, but if I thought that there was a young kid that was like, well, I just listened to Joe Roop and Lighting the Void my whole life, and that's what I was raised on, that's terrifying. That's horrifying to me, dude.
I mean, and so I don't know, and you get these weird. So I only brought that up because that's just one example now of some kind of weird philosophy that's becoming very popular recently. That's a fusion of like these weird kind of. I'm a proud conspiracy theorist. I'm proudly into these fringe topics. I like the weird stuff. But yeah. I was an adult when I found them, and you have a bunch of these new philosophies now that are birthed out of these weird fringe topics, mixed with like a bunch of like incel stuff. With like, I don't know, a bunch of like loose draining different type of like subjects and everything all fusing together to have some type of like crazy internet.
Are they really hitting their
Bolts
faces
stuff
with
happening.
hammers and stuff though?
It's a real thing. That's 100% real thing. Yeah. To get scar tissue.
Oh
That's the bone smashing concept and stuff. Get bigger jaws and I don't know. It's freaking crazy. So it's like that's just like a tangible manifestation of like what's going on for everybody. It's these crazy weird. That looks maxing concept. Whatever gets into a person's brain and convinces them to smash their face with a hammer. That's the sand that gets into a clam that creates the pearl, and like for some archon somewhere.
Loose pearls.
Loose pearl. Every time a kid smashes their head with a hammer, some archon gets a loose pearl,
Oh my God, dude.
I don't know. It's crazy. I don't know how I got on that, but
I haven't talked to Nightstocker in a long time, and now I'm probably just going to sit up in bed, tonight before I go to sleep and just lay there for like 2 hours and just stare and think about all this stuff,
Crazy.
So
But
while
like
you're
recall-
stalking shelves, do you think more about this stuff? Like, does it hit all of you at once, like while you're stalking shelves, or is it more when you're like chilling?
I guess when I'm stalking, I guess. I mean, like I'm not comparing myself to Einstein, but like Einstein got that job as a clerk to like when you have to do a menial task, your mind can go elsewhere, can wander. If you have to do something complicated, you have to focus on that. But stocking shelves is anyone can stock a shelf. It's a very menial task, so it allows me to, especially if framed by a show, framed by a topic that I can focus on. It's nice, but I think it comes off different because I just rapid fire all the stuff because we haven't talked in a while, too. Part of it. I'm just kind of like word salading and blabbing a bunch of thoughts all at once. That it might just seem more complex than it actually is. But
it's good to see Jess Rogie in there. Sylvain, Typical Skeptic Podcast. What's up, brother?
Sylvain.
My barber is here, Joe. Full Awakening. That's my barber, and he asked,
Nice.
that dude. You mean the Nightstocker? Ask that dude what he thinks about the movie narrative. People saying that the movie is about to end. I think Richard Allen Miller's talked about that on the show quite a bit. It's just we're all in this kind of movie or something.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe. I mean, that's possible. Yeah, it'd be fitting that the movie ends when Hollywood dies too. At the same time, Hollywood's dying at the same time. Our movie that we're living in, the Truman Show that we're living is falling apart. I don't know. There's a funny theory. It's more simulation based than movie based, but it's like that. What if the simulation started just running out of stuff? It's no longer. It broke down. It's not making any new stuff. So we're kind of regurgitating the same old stuff. It happened potentially, maybe in 2012 or 2017 or whatever, that all the celebrities from pre-2000 or pre-2012 are still the celebrities now, and everything that like time seems to be moving way faster, like that. I don't know, like that we're just that our great Greek myth is that we're having to make do with everything that existed within the simulation already, because the simulation is not rendering any new stuff. So we're trying to just repurpose old stuff, and everything is kind of crumbling around us. So everything's a reboot, everything's a remake, everything's a rehash of something else, kind of old idea, try to brought out of mothballs and redone again and stuff. That the simulation's breaking down that way.
Well, I mean, that to me, that's a cool concept. I always thought about, like, you can change your own movie for sure, but like all of us being there's a collective movie maybe, but I don't think there's always, when in this field, in this community, there's always like this fatalistic idea that we're trapped, we're doomed, there's no way out. That whole thing where we couldn't actually create our reality or wake up because there's something else controlling everything that we're never going to know about, that's dark or whatever, which could be true. But in like nature shows us that there's two sides to all of this. So if there's that darkness, then there has to be that much light, if relatively speaking. But when I get back to the dark side of things, like these scientists, this pattern where all of a sudden they're showing multiple scientists connected to advanced aerospace and UFO stuff, they've died or disappeared. Is it coincidence versus suppression? Is there foreign interference or like internal silencing? Like, why are these cases clustering around advanced tech fields? Back to what you were talking about, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't, as far as are we in a movie? I mean, it could be some kind of like Gnostic type of Truman Show revelation where we realize we're in some kind of controlled narrative. We're in some kind of story. And we realize that there's a storyteller, like a grand designer type of thing, and we wake up from the collective. Yeah, I don't know. We wake up from the collective dream, the collective Maya, or something like that. But if we are in some kind of simulation or choose your own adventure type of thing, that all of the mystics or all of the ancient cultures seem to say that like that consciousness is driving the simulation, or consciousness is writing the movie, that you're writing your movie as it's happening. So
yeah,
if you're sitting down and you're typing away a Stephen King novel, then you're going to be seeing Pennywise, or you're going to be seeing giant spiders and stuff, whatever. But if I don't know, I think that's the heaven is kingdom of heaven is on earth type of deal. That
we reiterate it. We go back, we create it, we reiterate it, we keep doing that stuff, then it comes back into Hollywood, and then we literally fractally make a movie, like a miniature version of what we're already doing consciously, which is what you were saying, like Spielberg's doing with this new film. He even says it's more truth. Quote, it's more truth than fiction. That's what he said.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And the phenomena, like that phenomena in movies is getting a little bit weirder too. Like, did you see Nope a few years ago? Yeah, no. Jordan Peele movie?
Yeah, I did see that. That was trippy.
Yeah, I like that one. That's a cool idea too. That's not necessarily even a new phenomena idea, but that's like there's a researcher in the 50s, Trevor James Constable, who wrote a couple of books in the 50s and the 70s about sky critters, and that these things aren't actually even craft. They're not metal craft. There's no aliens inside the flying them, but they're something that they can appear as something, as like as a craft, as a flying saucer, as a cigar shaped whatever. But it actually is an organism that exists in the upper atmosphere. Constable talks about more of like an interdimensional thing that kind of phases in and out. But there's all kind of theories about they're actually just like up there and just floating around like jellyfish or giant sky amoebas or whatever. And it's just a whole different biome up there, and that's what we're dealing with. And they occasionally will come down and make contact with us, or that's what Foo Fighters are. That's what all these different types of things are. That's a whole different paradigm, completely separate from Martians and stuff. And I think that's fun to get involved in the movie conversation and stuff. But I think like that's the power of Hollywood, and that's like the trope of Hollywood is the wood is the magic wand, the wood of the holly tree, and everything. It's not. They're not lying to us, but it's
just consciousness. I feel like it's just consciousness revealing itself through art. That's what I think. I think it's like like it's not saying that they're not, you know, instead of this grand cabal that's trying to show you and control stuff through movies, maybe it's just our consciousness has raised a level, even though it feels way crazier and way weirder because we're getting close to something. And then instead of having multiple conversations about it or trying to project, like I was telling you about what content creators do, what we do, we project a lot of stuff into our content. Artists go out and say, well, I'll just make a movie about it. I'll just make this whole fictional damn thing. And there's going to be a lot of truth in there. And that is pretty damn obvious that that's been happening since freaking Star Wars or even before then, you know?
Yeah. Well, I'm a synchromistic. I'm interested in my favorite idea with the predictive programming stuff is that it's not so much like relation on the method or predictive programming. It's what you said. It's just ideas that are coming out via the muses. It's like through the process of creating the art, you just kind of pick up on something. So it's when they say like the Simpsons predicted 9/11 or whatever, maybe they knew something about 9/11 that they had some kind of hidden information. I lean less towards that and more towards there's a writer's room of 10 of the smartest people of their time period coming together, bouncing ideas off each other, and the muses pop in and they slide in some kind of information that will seem prescient later on. And I think that's kind of how the muses work. But then also I think there is an agenda setting, there is a manifestation, there is a spell casting aspect to it where they're trying to, that they know that we have that like, for all we know, the elites have no power that we don't give them, you know, that they again, like we make it all happen. We like that they need to put the idea in our head first, not to like clear some kind of karma they have, which is the big predictive programming concept, is that they can get away with it if they tell us first. That's just like, I don't think that's kind of dumb to me, honestly. But I think it's more so like they can make it happen. They can conjure it up. They can manifest it if we believe it. So like a space program, whatever. So if you don't believe we went to space, then that's fine too. I'm not sure, but just the idea
Don't
of
get me started on that, man. Like,
but just like did the Star Trek or whatever, is that predictive programming for stuff, or is that kind of it manifested it? It planted the seed.
Yeah, it planted a seed in our consciousness. We want to explore space, man. You know.
Exactly. Yeah.
How about you?
That's another thing too. With
9 trips to the moon, we faked them all. Come on, man. Like 10, 11 trips, all of them are fake. Like,
yeah.
No, there's another guy, I forget his name, going around saying that, like, well, what about there should be new technology if we're in space? Like, well, until the gravity rockets come out, there's no new technology. But as far as software, cube satellites, the structure, there's tons of new technology that was launched into space recently. Like, you just have it's like there's this idea that we have no belief in ourselves, none, and that someone else has all the answers and they're just faking us out all the time.
Well, that's the whole crux of the mud flood Tartaria stuff too. I mean, I don't know how much of this you come across either, but this is one
after a while.
It's really ridiculous. Yeah, in like 2019, it was pretty fun, but it just got worse and worse and worse. And now all the videos you see, again, I'm open to. I'm a proud conspiracy theorist. I'm open. I love to entertain these things, but I treat these ideas like they're comic books. They're fun ideas, and it's amplified a little bit because they could be real, but I don't think they're all real. And the more recent Tartaria style comic books, so to speak, have gotten less and less plausible to me. And it's more so there's people who have no idea about anything engineering wise or architecture wise, or just how to build stuff, is going out and look at this building that we clearly made. We clearly built this. Like our grandparents built this. It's not even that old. And they're saying, what? Look at this building. How can we possibly build this? How can we possibly build this? And it's like, no, because you don't know how to do it. Like, and I mean, yes, the infrastructure is getting worse now. It seems like the things we're building today aren't necessarily as cool as the things we were building back then. But also, you have to consider all of the greatest minds of the time were focused on building for like most of human history, or for like all of those the great feats of architecture and the man-made wonders of the world and stuff. It was because it was multi-generational projects, and it's like everyone was focused on it, and all the highest people wanted to build it, and this was their legacy, and this is how to maintain immortality in this realm, is to build something really crazy like that sticks around. That's why the Freemasons have all those powers, because they were Masons. They were building stuff. Like, the building was the most important. And now we're in a paradigm where like we're building digitally, or all of our brightest minds are not building giant churches. So like, yes, our churches we make now look a little different, and they're not as elaborate, and we built them in 2 months as opposed to 500 years. Like, it's a different thing. But we can build this stuff. We could have built this stuff. I don't know. It just
out of all of this stuff, though, man, like we've known each other for years now, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, let's get practical here. Out of all the stuff that you've thought about, talked about, entertained yourself with, intrigued with, even the Loosh Pearls thing, that's brilliant. I can't stop thinking about that. Right?
Loosh Pearls, funny.
But what have you not experienced anything like? Haven't I asked you this before? Like, have you not had an extraordinary experience in your life? Maybe a supernatural, occult, weird, anything. It doesn't have to be paranormal. It can just be something completely freaking strange that don't make sense,
I mean, if somebody was asking me if I ever saw a UFO or ever saw anything weird, like, I say no, just because that's easier. I never done any, I never like engaged with the phenomena on purpose and stuff. Like, I never like try to conjure it up on my own. But there's one thing that's kind of weird that happened a few years ago, and it's a real quick story. But I was on break or something like that, and I was parked on the side of it was like near where we did the video with Amanda at the time, the news.
We did the parody news bit thing.
Yeah. It was like the same spot. So I was parked to the side there for some reason, which I never parked there. That's probably other than making that video, that was probably the only time I parked there in the 12 years I worked there. And that's facing this car dealership. It's like that down a hill a little bit. So I'm standing just on the regular pavement, just outside the building. I look straight ahead. At eye level is like 30 feet off the ground because it's like where the car dealership is. So I'm walking from my car back into the store. It's nighttime. I think I went in really early. So I was taking my break around like 9:30. So there was still customers there and stuff. There was still some cars in the parking lot. And walking to the front of the building, and I see this like bluish white undulating, rotating, like what I call a plasma being, a plasmoid or whatever. So some kind of undulating, rotating energy thing. It looked like a plastic bag kind of moving in the wind, but it's closest comparison. But it was 1,000% not a plastic bag. It was moving extremely slowly. I was standing there looking at it for a couple of minutes. Then I run back to my car because at the time my old boss was really into UFOs and stuff, and I'll go over there and hang out with him and his wife and kids and stuff. And we would like try to like hit like flash laser pointers in the sky to try to get UFOs. So I had one of those in my car. I ran to my car, grabbed it, ran back to where I was, and it's still there. And I tried to hit it with the laser beam. It wasn't working for some reason. I was like, oh damn it! So I'm just like staring at this thing. I didn't want to pull my phone out because I didn't want to make the experience stop. I wanted to have the experience. I wanted to see what was happening. And then eventually I'm sitting there. I'm just like, I have to go back inside. I've been out here for like, I'm going to be late for my punch. I'm sitting out here for 5 minutes staring at, and it's just slowly moving. It's like moving kind of like parallel to me. Then turns kind of slightly away from me, but still just going really, really slow. And then, this drone, like a red and green blinking light, like it would be like a handheld drone, from I don't know where, flew right over it, and like 20 feet over my head. And I'm like, all right, I gotta go back inside. And I went back inside. And I don't think about that really at all. But
you don't know what the hell that was, though.
I have no idea what it was. And then like in the news, there was a UFO sighting, and they called it a plasma being, and it kind of looked a little bit like that on the. It's not the news, but like in the fringy circles, and the picture of it was kind of just a weird shape, just a weird kind of not a uniform shape, not an oval, not a ball of light, but just like a rotating, undulating, shimmering piece of energy kind of thing, kind of moving around. And I don't think about it. I don't like if somebody asks, do you have an experience? I say no, but that definitely happened.
Yeah, because you've always told me no. This is the first time I think I've heard this story.
Yeah, it definitely happened when we were friends. Like, it definitely happened when I was on the show a lot. I mean, it definitely happened like when during
nights outside the store, Nightstalker's adventures outside the grocery store there.
But that's it though. That's really the only no UFOs, no ghosts, nothing really paranormal.
And you've worked at night your whole life, right? Like pretty much your whole
from when I was I started my old store when I was 16, and then through college, and then when I came back from college, I went full time during the day, like 2 years, and then switched to my current store overnight. And I was like, so during the day till like 24, and then the last 12 years overnight at a different store.
Well, I think things are about to get really like more strange. Because I've been on Reddit and stuff, and Reddit's saying like 2026 is being framed as like this deadline year for disclosure pressure, not disclosure, but just pressure, right? And then people believe the military ocean, like these USOs, they're being hidden. Yeah. I think I heard Lazar talking about that on Rogan's podcast too, and some think NASA is resisting like full transparency too, and that kind of goes back to what the girl that killed herself. She was talking about some of that stuff too. So like this paranoia energy is perfect for a freaking loose pearl, dude.
Loose pearl, yeah, it brings yeah, for sure. It's time for the harvest. I mean, but again, the UFOs in the ocean, it makes sense, but also it's very ritualistic too. That's connecting the heavens to the abyss, and that's classic. And it's like as Chris Noll says, space is an altar. These things are all is venerating something, like whether we can get out there or not. That's what those NASA missions, that's the space programs. That's what the occult aspects of it. It's venerating something. It's worshiping something. It's calling powers down, and to connect the heavens to the abyss, the sky to the ocean. That's ritualistic, and it reminds me of Ocean Gate Titan submarine that went down with the billionaires in it a few years ago. And it's called Ocean. Yeah, it's called Ocean Gate, like Stargate, like a portal. Ocean Gate, and the Ocean Gate Titan. So it's Titan. It's old ones. It's old gods. It's Cthulhu worship, and it was partially built by NASA. And on one of the billionaires on it was on the board of trustees for SETI, for the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. These are all like, and then the Storm Area 51 thing.
I remember that.
That happened like a week before Epstein got convicted. And then it went viral a week before he was convicted, and then it happened a week like before he died or something like that. It was the same month. It was that he was in trial. So there was he had a month-long trial while the Storm 851 was happening. Ghislaine Maxwell was arrested on UFO Day in Lovecraft Country, near where Betty and Barney Hill were abducted, and near the Exeter incident and stuff, near where Crowley lived in New Hampshire for 4 years during his magical retirement in America. And it was the day after the head of MUFON was arrested for sex crimes and stuff, and then it's coming out that Epstein was completely involved with physics. He was like dominating. He was like a gatekeeper for physics within the science world for the last 20 years. This is according to like Eric Weinstein and these people who were going on Rogan talking about like physicists saying that this guy was trying to control physics, and now all the physicists are dying, and his victims during hypnosis, during their art therapy, was drawing Epstein flying around in flying saucers as part of their art therapy. And then Epstein files was the biggest thing in the zeitgeist for whenever that was. And then it was peak crescendoing in its virility. And then all of a sudden, Trump starts calling these things the alien files. I'm going to release the alien files. And for short, the files. J.D. Vance starts calling them the files. And that same week, the X-Files comes out with their cast of their reboot. So like files gets everywhere, and there's 3 different files if you Google searching files on. So these things are all wrapping together, and I think there's like people will just say, oh, it's a distraction from the Epstein stuff, the UFO stuff, but I think it's more complicated than that. I think there's like some kind of weird conglomeration of like physics, ritualism, conjuring something, sex crimes, occult rituals. I don't know. It's just something weird is happening. I don't know. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. I mean, you could use
something's happening.
Like especially ritual or ceremonial magic. You could use it you can tap into things consciously for sure. I'm a testimony to that, but I've never got into any dark stuff. Like just, I guess I could, if I was a real void walker, maybe I should start invoking some demons or something. See what happens. Get deep into some Enochian and just see what happens.
I mean, you see Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr. when he's trying to fight, he's trying to battle Blackwood or whatever. It's been years since I saw it. So he like,
talking about the first
one night,
or the second one? Yeah, the first one.
I think it's the first one, and he just like learns magic in one night and starts to try to like he's trying to like solve these crimes, and Blackwood's this magician, so he's trying to figure out how it's happening. So he's
that's
like,
what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But also like Tony Stark in Marvel Comics, he's the peak of technology. He's all about technology. He builds that. He's technology personified. In the future, he becomes the sorcerer supreme of Marvel because he realizes that science and technology is no different than magic. It's indistinguishable, as Arthur C. Clarke says and stuff. So that's why I don't necessarily, when I say doing rituals or these occult practices, I don't mean it in like a magic is evil, don't do magic type of way. I mean that there's people at the highest level doing very advanced technology, and I think they've discovered that it is the same as magic, and that like it's been like that for a long time. And like you said it already, like we didn't have this technology that I'm talking on right now if Jack Parsons didn't get messages from IWAS to make space shuttles and stuff. That whether we went to the moon or not, creation of JPL, the creation of NASA moved the technology forward. That all on the way we're being coaxed, we're being pushed by something is whispering in humanity's ear to build technology, and seemingly it's like damning us, like it's not like social media is making things better. It's like we're being sent the instructions to build our own prison.
Well, according to Strange Angel, it was the beast. It was the devil that was driving Jack Parsons.
Yeah, potentially. Or yeah, potentially. Something. I don't know. Is Awas the devil? I mean, Awas is the one who was.
So in ceremonial magic, the devil energy is just like the most intense and darkest form of masculine energy. That whole thing is about masculine and feminine, right? That's what it's all about, bringing those two energies together. So if you look at Crowley's devil card, it's just a big, testicles and penis, and you see this devil figure coming out of the right testicle, because that's what it is. It's this masculine dark drive for just energy, passion and energy at its darkest and most densest form is the beast, is the kind of the devil. In a sense, that's what the devil energy is. Now, Iwas was a being that a whole different thing that was like a god that was telling him, we're going to bring in this new aeon, and everyone's going to realize that they're God, and they need to stop listening to everybody else, and then the weak will perish, and yada yada yada.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm interested in, and I mean that gets wrapped up in technology too. And I mean the first two letters is AI also in that entity, but. Way I don't think it necessarily happened in this way, but in the way Strange Angel makes it seem is that they're stumped for a solution. That there's some kind of they're tripping up on some kind of on the right fuel, the solid fuel or whatever it is, and they can't figure it out. And then his friend, Jack Parsons' friend, he was communicating with Iwas, and he got the idea, and he told Jack Parsons, and that idea got us to the moon. So ipso facto, an idea from a being beyond the veil us to the moon, so that's where the weirdest ideas come from. That's what I'm most interested in. Who's telling us these things? Like it's not just that he was doing magic and he was a weird guy and stuff. It was that like the ideas aren't because he was doing magic, that he was getting inspiration from elsewhere, and that the elsewhere is like, what's the agenda of the elsewhere? Why did that thing, did Iwas, whatever that thing is, did it know what would happen in the future? Did it know by telling them how to create this ingredient that would act as the fuel for this rocket, all of the technology that would come from that? Like, do they have like a lot of these things, the seen and the unseen, the entities, these things are outside of time. They're not within the linear flow of time.
Right.
So by implanting an idea 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 50 years ago, whatever, they know that it will turn into an AI prison in the future, or singularity, or whatever. They know that it will end up, like, if it's contact, they know that Jodie Foster will figure it out and be able to build the ship that will get to talk. It's like you mean some kind of something knows that if it sends out the right instructions, eventually somebody will open the Stargate and it can walk through it and be here now.
That's the same concept as Interstellar,
Exactly, right.
The Tesseract,
exactly, yeah.
And it's like, well, the beings are. He's telling them it's actually us in the future with a higher advanced technology guiding us, or something,
Yeah, that's it's trippy. In recent in Black Panther comics, how like the vibranium comes down, and it's like this advanced metal that comes in the form of a meteorite, and then they're the only culture that gets it, so they're able to take this meteorite and build this advanced technology. That advanced technology puts them so much farther ahead of everybody else. So in the most recent comics, the idea is who sent the vibranium? Who sent this thing that allowed us to get to the technological point? And spoiler alert for the comic, but it comes out that like the vibranium itself has a sentience, but it's the vibranium knew that it would happen. It's not, these things aren't just happening by accident or just luck of the draw or just happenstance. It's that like there's a Rube Goldberg machine aspect to humanity, that these different events are like linked together. We just can't see it because we're in one contraption within the machine, but something is building the machine outside of the apparatus and goes, oh, if I knock down this bowling ball here, like 50 years, 1,000 years later, something else will happen. Like the dominoes will fall over and stuff. That there's like something else kind of putting these grains of sand in the process, because it knows pearls will pop up way down the line.
Loose pearls. From
Loose
here on
pearls,
out, anytime Nightstocker says pearls, he's talking about loose pearls.
Loose pearls, yeah, the loose pearls.
So this kind of sounds dark then. Okay, so I'm going to say something pretty dark, but it's probably too soon or whatever. But your concept of this whole loose thing and what Robert Monroe is talking about, if these things exist, and there's no telling what exists in the, like if you actually start getting out of body or exploring the astral realm, there's no belief system that's set in this place. It's complete chaos, right? But if there was like these loose entities or whatever, they start messing with you until you just have a freaking mental breakdown. And then you off yourself, you know, however you decide to do it. And then it just picks up its little pearl. Ah, there it is, you know?
Yeah.
Thanks for the pearl.
Yeah.
That's a dark, dark thought, Nightstocker.
It's a dark. What if it's darker? Like the end result. I don't know. Is that is killing yourself the pearl though, or is the trauma it inflicts on you the pearl? So is it more effective to keep the clam alive to make it create pearl after pearl after pearl? It's not as if, I mean,
I think according to what Monroe said, it'd be better if you were edging the whole time.
Edging the whole time, yeah, exactly, yeah. So I don't know. So to get it's a that's why
be better to edge it because you could just keep, you know, it's like a never-ending loose farm.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like if you're a vampire preying on a victim, it's better to drink them, to drain them almost to the point of death, but then keep them in a dungeon somewhere, let them replenish themselves, and then come back down for a meal a different time. You know, it's better than killing them and having to go out and find more prey later on. You know, so if we are being preyed upon, then that's the longer I'm in the conspiracy game, the less I think that there's an actual depopulation agenda. The less I think that like trying to get us all down to 500 million, to like for the resources or whatever. Like I don't think that's like, I think that if they wanted to do that, they would have done it already. That I think we're more valuable as a energy resource, as a loose farm, as vessels potentially. If they're working, if they're like underlings for some non-physical sentience that wants vessels, then why kill all the vessels? You would traumatize all the vessels until they become willing vessels, you know, or not willing, but empty husks. They're hollowing us out. They're creating empty shells, in the form of trauma. Like that's what MK Ultra is. Like the big aim, like the headline of MK Ultra is the mind control assassin stuff. But I think that might have been a happy accident. And I think what they're actually trying to do is make contact with entities. And I think trauma creates contact, and it also hollows you out. So the reason why it creates contact is because it's a dinner bell for an entity that's out there.
Dinner bell. My goodness.
That's been doing that that's forever. That's the Oracle of Delphi. That's the shamanism all throughout the history of humanity. That's how you bring these things in. That's the whole point of a ritual sacrifice and everything. It's these things, these powers and principalities need to be appeased through these methods and stuff. So it's happening now. Like it's got taken out of the dungeon, out of the grove in the forest, and then into the lab, and it's taken out of the lab and just put into the newsfeed now. Now it's just put onto we're now free range clams being farmed for our loose pearls instead of being in a clam factory. You know? Rambling, but yeah.
All right. So hear me out here. What if, let's just go back to like basic occult concepts here. Okay. What if there's just consciousness that just creates, so we're supposed to be talking about like UFOs all night, like we've gotten past engineered disclosure for sure. So what about the idea that you need both alpha and omega for relativity to exist, for things to exist, period, so that consciousness could express itself through a reality that needs both sides. Now, the problem is that there's an amnesia effect there that has to happen for us to even explore this stuff consciously, because if you're all things and everything, you cannot go anywhere and explore out there. You have to go within. And if you go within without a game, the gig is up anyways. So you kind of have to be amnesic a little bit and forget. So you go within and you have these two light, dark, realms, alpha, omega, masculine, feminine, whatever you want to call it, relativity. The problem is that consciousness is so powerful and so, I guess you could say, nuanced, that we just do the shit to ourselves constantly, and because it's so fucking crazy, we need something to blame.
Yeah, possibly. And I think, I agree with it. Like when it comes down to it, that's the philosophy that I choose. That all of the problems in my life are of my own making, and I think that's the Jungian concept, where it's like all the things that you see projected in your physical reality are from internal processes, and that's the as above so below thing. And when Jung says that, like, everything that annoys you in somebody else it's a reflection of something that you do.
Carl Jung said that a lot. However, what he did, there is I don't know what book it is. I don't know if it's the Red Book. I forget where I read it, but I know it's Carl Jung that said that he felt like that it was either a dream or when he was doing his deep work, that he was just this piece of consciousness in this river that would kind of let go. And once he died, he would get into it, or leave his body, he would get into it. And he was no longer in control of anything. He was just conscious, and he would flow into like where the moon was. And it was like this river of consciousness, and it would send him back. So imagine like this
really?
current of consciousness that goes out to the moon, and then it brings you back. And it's like this magnetic field where consciousness leaves the body, it hits the lunar field and comes back. And the only time that you have control or can do anything is when you're in this body, because you have all these nerve endings and sight and all this other stuff, pretty much the dodecahedron of the video game. So you get to do all this stuff. But when you're out of the body, then you're just subject to where the consciousness takes you. And he said it took him out to the moon. It was kind of terrifying because he had to just go with it. And then once he got to the moon or the lunar field or something like that, I have to find it, and it just brings you back. The next thing you know, you're being born again and right back through it all over again.
Well, my conspiracy brain, is that or a cycle? Is that good? Is that the natural process of consciousness, or is that the recycling process of consciousness? Is that the soul trap?
If fractals are real, and we know that they are, and you observe nature, well, then I would say that we're all a bunch of little fish getting thrown back until we become a big fish.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, that's a good way to think. In the movie Moonfall, spoiler alert, but it's an AI that's living in the moon and recycling souls on the moon. That the moon is a giant. It's a soul recycling factory. That there's a species has. There's the Bardo, the 49-day reincarnation cycle that's happening naturally or whatever, and something has like worked their way into the natural system and like dammed it up, and the moon is the dam, and it takes our soul and just recycling it and using our soul as a power source, kind of, basically. And that's not natural. The moon was brought here for that purpose as a soul recycling center, basically.
And when I was a kid, when you were a kid, did you ever freak yourself out when you were a kid? Think about that. I used to freak myself out when I was a kid, man. I would lay in bed and my heart would just thump, because I was afraid all the time. No mother around. Dude, I was raised by a hard ass, so that might have had something to do with it. But my heart would just like race.
Like what?
And I would just think something's going to get me, man. Something's in the closet. Something's behind that shelf over there, right? Something's after me, right? And then what would happen is I would actually create the son of a bitch with my eyes open.
Yeah.
I saw a fat dwarf in my doorway when I was a kid. I literally sat up in my bed and looked straight at it. It was in the dark. It was etheric. It wasn't like physical. I jumped through it to run to my dad's room. But my fear created this image. Now, if anybody else was in the room, would they have seen it? Probably not. But that doesn't mean it didn't exist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when you're a kid, you can create these things. Like astrally, you can stare at a poster long enough, and if you can make it move, especially if it's dark. Your mind they say it's your mind playing tricks on you, but this thing I literally created. I had another night where I had a witch thing, a bee. It looked like a big bumblebee. I'll tell you this story, dude.
Yeah.
So because this is where this whole astral fluid thing kind of. So when I was a kid, I would freak myself out. I would stare at the wall. I would roll over and stare at the wall because I didn't want to look in the hallway. Too dark, too scary. So I just stare at the wall. I could hear my heart beating in my ear. So it would do that noise in your ear. And I thought, well, those are footsteps. Or I just tell myself, those are footsteps, man. Those are footsteps. Something's out to get me. And then I would literally peek above the covers and look. I had a chest of drawers at the end of my bed. I would look at it, and I knew something was hiding back there. And eventually, guess what? I saw something pop out and look at me.
Yeah.
So I covered up, and then and my heart's racing. I pull the covers back. There's this witchy-looking, haggy-looking lady coming right at me, and this thing flying in my ear. It sounds like a bee just flying in my ear, just like over my covers. I'm screaming the top of my lungs. And my dad's like, what is it again? What the hell is going on? I'm not asleep, man.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
I mean, so what do you think that is? Yeah. So I believe in that for sure. Do you think that's there's two schools of thought for that. Is that a thought form? Like, did you create that whole cloth and it popped out of your imagination? Or, which I think is possible and probably happens all the time.
Yeah, I think I created those things. Like, in a sense, when someone says it's your imagination, like, they say it in a way that's like, it's fake, it's not real. But in the occult, your imagination is like
primary,
everything. It's your astral light.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
that's what Alan Moore. Yeah, that's what Alan Moore talks about. That everything starts in the imagination first, and it just manifested in the material world. That's a thought form, a tulpa, an egregore, or whatever.
Yeah, so I'm literally creating astral blueprints, and I can see them.
I think so, yeah.
I
think so.
But as I got older, because my dad kept coming in the room, he kept going, look here, let me show you this. This is how you talk to me, too. One more time, let me show you this. You paying attention? And he'd flip the light on. Same shit. Flip it off. Same, nothing there. Same shit. He'd do it 100 times. Talk down to me. Make me feel real stupid, right? And then he'd go, now go to bed. Okay.
Yeah.
Night after night after night, and then eventually I grew out of it. I let it go. I told myself it's not real. I'm freaking myself out. And eventually it went away. And now we're finding out as we get older that we should tap back into these things to help manifest our reality. But we don't know how because we've been inundated with our own bullshit. We're just a bunch of lost little babies here that are super conscious that don't know what the hell's going on. And we're supposed to listen to all these other people.
I mean, I think that could be. So I think the thing I think is most fascinating about that, or what could be happening, like is what if there is an entity there that is there? Like, what if the footsteps are?
Dude, I felt the wings flapping in my ear, like you would if a big moth just flew up and flapped in your face.
Yeah.
So, I felt that shit.
It's almost like that helicopter noise people experience sometimes before.
Exactly. It's exactly what it was.
So it's like, I definitely think it's possible, and I think what's happening is that people create thought forms out of the imagination. That's the power of the human mind. That's the observer effect. That's what quantum physics is telling us. But then I think that there's an aspect of the phenomena, some type of sentience that's aware of that and knows that, and that's why kids have more experiences and stuff, because they know that there's the loose pearl. Exactly. These kids are better loose creator, or they're better imagineers. Like, their imagination's firing at all cylinders and stuff, or they don't have the calcification of society on them. That, like, they haven't been told a million times when they look up at the sky that thing up in the sky is a plane and not a flying UFO or whatever. That they've been told a million times that voice that they heard, or the shadow, whatever, it's all in their head and stuff. But so they grow out of it. Their 3D printing reality is not as good. But as a kid, I mean, that's why Pennywise goes after the kids, or that's why Vecna and Stranger Things goes after the kids and stuff. That's why MK Ultra goes after the kids. Or, like the shamans and all the cultures will go after the kids and stuff. It's that the kids' imagination is raw still, and I think that we know that. I think that phenomena might know that. So there's something kind of waiting in the wings, kind of waiting for you to have that vision in your head, and then it pops out of your mind as what you expected it to be. So there's so I call that's not a thought form, because the thought form you create. This is a pre-thought, it's a formless pre-thought thought form. So it exists before the thought, waiting for you to have the thought so that they can pop into reality.
There's going to be a million like shows that come out that people are going to do shows based off of everything you said tonight. You know that, right? You're just going to see it. It's going to happen all over the place.
We can do it.
But
that makes sense, though. I mean, that's a pretty good idea, though, right? Isn't it?
No, it's real. It's 100% real. Because the whole concept of, if you get into Theosophy of Blavatsky, or if you get into the occult, what they teach you in the Neophyte grade in the Golden Dawn is when you're drawing your pentagrams, to actually visualize them, that it's there. You can start with your eyes closed, but eventually keep your eyes open. And what you really want to see is that connection between this realm and the astral realm, where the imagination clicks into the physical realm and you start to see through the barriers, just like you did when you were a kid. You could make the blueprints, Yeah. Now,
exactly. Yeah.
With all of that being said, I've told that story for a reason. With all of that being said, when it comes to the prison planet idea, if a small child has that much power with his fear, which I know he does from experience, what do you think billions of scared people could create?
Yeah, exactly. Right. And if you know, if you're a group that knows this and stuff, then you have all the power. So you can, I don't know, you can get them to think that you're powerful, so that you become powerful and stuff. You can manifest the reality that we're living in. You can give yourself all the power. You can give. There's only two energetic reasons why we do anything and everything, which is fear and desire. Those are the two ends of the spectrums. So if you can tap all the way into your fear, as deep and as crazy as it can be, and anybody that's had a panic attack or a severe panic attacks over and over again knows what that world's like, or all the way into your desire, where you get almost hedonistic, Yeah. There's definitely energy there to farm off of. But it's creative energy too. Yeah. I mean, is what we're talking about kind of just the basis of religion and stuff? Is it kind of what Jesus was talking about? It's like, that's like that's like the programmer thing. It's like the simulation creator realized that his creations in the simulation were freaking out, and they were fearful, and they were killing each other and hurting each other. So he created an avatar for himself in the form of his son, and put himself into the simulation and try to tell everybody, stop freaking out. You're in a simulation, and the simulation is exactly what you make it is.
Think about it, dude. They were sacrificing goats. They were sacrificing things.
Yeah.
They'd be, I messed up. I sinned. Shame, shame, shame. Let me go blood of a goat, right? Makes no sense, but that was their all reality. They created it. And so he could say, okay, well, I'll be the ultimate sacrifice, so we don't have to do that no more.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're so inundated with their shit and what they're scared of and what they're afraid of. And he's there trying to empower them and tell them, you could literally create heaven right now if you wanted to, but you can't get out of your own shit. And you're all destroying each other, So I'll be the sacrifice. And even if you don't believe in me and what I'm telling you, then just use my name.
Yeah.
Because it's that powerful.
Yeah. So part of me really believes in that and really believes in beauty in that. But then my conspiratorial brain, or the part of me that says,
your desire and your fear brain are both speaking. Yeah. Which one's winning?
Yeah, exactly. Like, are we sure the force's good brain is saying that, like, okay, Jesus said these things and they're beautiful, and if you follow them, you'll create a heaven for yourself. But look at the results of what happened, and the results are kind of the three Abrahamic religions battling each other for the next couple thousand years and really mucking up the works. And really, we wouldn't have the technology prison that we're living in without Christianity synthesizing the planets and stuff, and without these conflicts and without these different things. And that maybe, I don't know, it also seems like
there's a slow vetting process. That's what Revelations is. They know we're going to still stupidly do this stuff to each other, but every now and then something comes around every so many thousands of years and kind of upgrades us a little bit.
Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah.
Like Krishna, Jesus, maybe I was. Maybe they're different beings that come around and go, look, it's just your will. Whatever you will, you create. And will is like a different thing than the secret. Will means like you put all of your energy into this one thing that you're focused on,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm just waiting for it to get better, though, Like, I feel like the more people we have talking about I mean, the more people in the New Age community is talking about the ascension's going to happen. We're so close.
There's no ascension that's going to happen.
People are waking up. Yeah, exactly. Like people, like it seems like things are getting actively worse. I mean, at the very least, it's getting actively weirder. So it just, I mean, it seems
at first it was Y2K. They're going to rapture us up. God's going to come on a white horse and take me away from all the bad people. It's like everything that all of that stuff is it's a metaphor. It's for your consciousness. It's for you to wake up inside yourself and see the bigger picture. And then you can't go out, because here's what happens. If you go out and start trying to change the world and change everybody and preach all this stuff and try to fix people, you're going to end up suffering yourself, because their subconscious, their programs are not ready for it. They're going to torture you. And even if you stay totally out of your fear, let's say you never give into your fear, you stay with your beliefs and your will, and you believe it all the way to the core, then they kill you. And then even when they kill you and they say, well, you're not afraid of death, then they make an idol out of you and call you God.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
And we're eating ourselves, dude, is what it is. Creating loose pearls.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's and what if we're I'm very pro-human. I believe we're these beautiful creatures and we have infinite potential and all that kind of stuff. But just what if you take a step back and we're not as special as we've been made to believe, and we are more of like 3D printers, or we are more of kind of just, I don't know, that we're being puppeted and used. And the reason why for these blood rituals and stuff is for attention. That it's a just thinking about the thing isn't enough, and then giving offerings isn't enough. That was like, now I really to give blood rituals. That could be enough. Or and then even the Abrahamic God, the first commandment is, it's not that there's no other God. It's only pay attention to me. It's only observe me, because the observer effect is what's going to render me into power and stuff. And it's maybe the idea of casting off old gods, or the Brennan Wilson, how do you kill a god type of thing. It's you forget about them, or you don't talk about them anymore.
Just forget about it. You remember, like in the second book, when Monroe was traveling, he actually ran into the demiurge kind of god, or at least an entity that was like, worship me, I'm the creator, da 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 da.
Yeah, exactly.
And he just looked at it and was like, whatever, and just kept going. Didn't affect him whatsoever.
Yeah. What if we're in like some kind of cold war between invisible entities fighting for our attention, because our attention is what gives them their power and stuff? And that
could be a thing.
Yeah, it's tough. It's scary. I don't know. At the end of the day, I think that, like, yes, you do have the power. At the end of the day, you can create heaven. So if you're gonna latch onto one thing we're talking about tonight, audience, I think that that's to latch onto that.
Here's the problem with that. Then you get into the ascension people, and then you got all these people on there selling their programs for $25,000. You know, to show you that you can have anything you want, and this is what Manly P. Hall warned us about. You got all these grifters and people. It started in the priest class. They come in here and they think they're spiritually enlightened, and they're going to tell everybody and teach everybody all this stuff. And then once they start teaching, they're really just feeding on your desires. Don't you want to have a good life? Don't you want a bunch of money? Don't you want sex? Everybody's going to go, yes, yes, yes. Well, this is what spirituality is all about. You don't have to be broke. You don't have to not get laid as much as you want. It can be as beautiful as you want. Just come to my seminar and I'll show you.
Yeah. Start hitting your head with a hammer and your face will get better looking and stuff. Just one step away from looks maxing, just spiritual maxing. And there's different drifts. I don't know. It's just I'm
not trying to say your desires are bad, but energy is at its best when it's balanced, always, right? Like, and observing what's going on is when you can just observe, is when your consciousness level increases. You take no beliefs in, no fears, no paradigms, no big villain, no big savior, none of that stuff. Just observe, just explore.
Yeah. I think that's like I think the same can be done. I mean, I don't do this. I have to better this myself and be better at what I eat, and so I've had so much sugar and preservatives and all that kind of stuff. But when you crave sugar, when you crave these things that you know are bad for you, it's because your gut biome's telling you these things, and these parasites in your body
going on for real.
Yeah. So these things are giving you cravings and stuff. So these desires aren't even, when you get right down to it. If you were like truly healthy or truly operating where you're supposed to be, you wouldn't even have these cravings.
You definitely wouldn't.
Yes. Like a lot of these desires could potentially be like like same things like thought parasites or cravings from kind of spiritual
I see where you're
parasites
going with this. Uh huh.
You know what I mean? That like you have to kind of purge the body and purge the consciousness before you can even realize what you do desire in the first place. You know, which ones are just your gut biome or your the thought parasites creating false cravings for you. You know.
That's that's why this is the whole cult mentality, and you got to watch this in the UFO field too. Okay, but
Yeah.
all you have to do to get a following nowadays is just be confident. You could be talking about the craziest shit in the world, but if you're confident and conviction, like I told you, we're a bunch of lost babies, right?
Yeah.
On the inside.
Yeah.
So if someone just appears to be, you get this Tony Robbins guy or anybody that appears to know what they're talking about, they look confident, they got conviction, they got a little prestige or whatever, they just keep putting out content. Eventually they're going to have their own little group following them around, validating them.
Yeah.
Well, this guy or girl, they know what they're talking about. I'm going over there. And yet, still 20, 30 years down the road, they're still doing the same shit, not fixing the same problems, wondering why the same shit keeps happening. And it's got to be an archon.
Yeah. And they're all fighting for your attention. Like and subscribe, share the video, like this, and like give my Patreon and give me attention and look at mine and share my posts. I'll tell the posts.
I do it.
You have to do it. Like, that's what it's commerce is driving us in this direction. That's what I mean. These are all. That's the Rube Goldberg machine. I'm not an anti-capitalist. I like capitalism.
But I don't know what the hell's going on. Okay, I'm just saying. All I know is that there's something to consciousness and that it's extremely fundamental. Whatever. That's my whole thing, right?
Yeah, and it's just.
I think it's all this other shit is controlled. I don't think there's actually a person in the government or anywhere in there that knows exactly what's going on with the UFOs or any of that stuff. I do think that they probably have some I know for a fact they have advanced technology they don't tell us about, because I talk to military guys all day at work, and there's just some things they will not share with me. They can't. But as far as like super advanced stuff, like the kind of stuff Lazar's talking about or the things that we've seen, like I don't think they really know. But they can control how they give it to us, how they release the information that they're getting.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's levels, and it's kind of like a mafioso, like a mafia type of pyramid family type of infrastructure where all the people on the street level don't need to know what's going on at the high table, but then also everybody at the high, everyone at the high table that doesn't necessarily know what the kingpin is thinking too at the same time. And then when it gets really scary, it's like, I don't think necessarily the kingpin is even human in the first place. I think that's how you get all the secret societies and all the different gangs with different agendas, and they haven't all destroyed each other yet. It's because like they're all getting like the foreman is sending out blueprints to all these different crews, and they don't necessarily even know they're working for the same foreman, or they have pieces to the same plan because they're not interacting with each other and stuff. And I think that just, I don't know if you can get to, like, look how quick we went from UFOs to just the nature of reality and all this kind of weird stuff. That's how quick it gets into. So in order to know everything, you need to know literally everything. I don't think there's anybody that's there, but I think, do they know somebody that knows much more than what we know, for sure.
Yeah, we can't even depend on a crystal clear daylight shot of a structured craft anymore because we don't know if it's real. We don't know if the footage is real. Yeah. I mean, what would it take? What would it take for someone to go, this is undeniable? Think about it. If they said, here's the footage of an actual flying saucer, and we've had all these people look it up, we've had it technically analyzed, it's real, it's clear as day, which there probably already is footage out there like that. There's still going to be half of the fear-based, or whatever you want to call it, it's natural, but there's still going to be people that say it's not real, it's fake.
Yeah. And a huge chunk saying it's demons too, in the same rate.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's a demon obsession going on for sure.
Yeah, they're telling us it's aliens, and they're rolling out the saucer, but it's actually a demon, and they're rolling out demons on the White House lawn and stuff. Yeah, I don't think anything that they tell us for my purposes, for like synchromysticism and stuff, and just to analyze what's happening, I think has value, and you can just add it to Rolodex of weirdness and stuff. But I think as far as like a paradigm changing thing, what would it take? Something like it comes down during the World Series, it comes down during the Super Bowl. So like something where like 5,000 people in real life see it, and then just every station runs it at the same time too. Like you have to, and whether it's, and even still, you're gonna get conspiracy theorists who say it's fake in the same way that the towers didn't fall down or anything like that. That like that the footage is gonna be fake and stuff. But just like but for all intents and purposes, then it becomes real if everyone is just talking about it being real. Just
because if you haven't noticed now, whatever you're calling disclosure, now we know it's not, at least this is my opinion, okay? We know that it's not about revealing the truth that they're hiding. The thing that's going to happen from here on out, while shit gets weirder and weirder, it's all about managing our reaction to it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And they're doing, and they're, they're doing it in a weird way. Like the idea of not being.
Where's the 46 videos? I stay up at night sometimes. I want, like, they've got me. They're controlling me a little bit because I want to see them. They know I want to see them. Where they at? They're supposed to be out mid-month.
I want to see them too. But what are they gonna? What kind of videos would it take for you to impress you? I mean, if it's a bunch of ones like the Nimitz one, like the one from 2017 of the Tic Tac and stuff, if it's 46 of those, then it's
not going to do nothing because I can't see those. Those are they're too damn hard to see.
What if it's like a portal opening up and these tentacles coming out of it in the middle of the sky? You know, what if it's something really crazy? Then it's really like it's not actually a flying saucer. It's something absolutely crazy. I don't know. They're just
we're gonna wait. That moment will happen when we all die and we get into our astral bodies. There's probably going to be about 70% of us that are going to say, "Nightstalker was right." I was a loose pearl the whole time.
We're all pearls. They're pearls. We were pearls the whole time. Yeah.
No, like
wearing a giant necklace of us.
Yeah, and we'll make some loose pearl socks, and then I'll split it with Nightstalker. You better buy some.
Yeah,
Marla.
Yeah.
Because I used to have some ugly overpriced socks. We'll do that. We'll just start this whole loose pearl thing.
I've been wearing the same Lighting the Void sweatshirt for every day since I got it. This is like 6 years ago now, and it's really falling apart on me. It's like the whole sleeve, the whole right sleeve is the cuff, like the cuff on the wrist works, and then the shoulder works, but the rest is like hanging by a thread. So I got to wear like a flannel underneath it, whatever. But over it, but I'm superstitious, and you can't even see the sigil on it anymore in the front. It's just
we got to get you a new one if the sigil faded.
Yeah, I got to buy a new one. I was looking at it the other day.
Yeah, we'll get you a new one, man. And it's really good to have you back on the show again, man, and to talk to you again. I've been just trying to honestly figure out where I'm going to go with this because I can only talk in circles about the same stuff for so long. But my fire, like, I only have one mission in my heart, dude, and I can't define it down to the T, but it just feels like I want to be free. I want to understand consciousness, and I know it sounds sappy, but love as well. I think they blend together. I think there's something going on there. And that's the only thing that's kept me, that and Gareth hitting me up, for sure. Because think about it, man, that was happening to him. Like, he was paralyzed in his body. He had ALS. He was afraid. He was pretty much telling himself, I'm about to die. The neurologists were telling him he's about to die. And he's reading books online about how this is a fake world and there's some monster world out there. Don't go into the light.
Exactly.
Your grandma's going to trick you. All this stuff, man. And that's
you see what I mean? Like I was tiptoeing around the trip by the lights a trap thing, the whole show basically. I mean, I'm one step from saying we're all loose pearls. That's one step away from saying we're all living in a soul. I mean, I brought up the soul trap for the moon thing too. It's like I can't help but think of these things because I'm like, but the idea of having to reckon with that, if I was also thinking about my own mortality, it would be a dark thing. And I don't know. That's the downside of this type of content for sure. It's amazing that he was able to get out of that.
He told me was, like, he told me in a message, he said, I want to pet my dog again. I want to eat on my own, breathe on my own. I want to kiss a girl again. I want to play video games again. I just want to live. And he switched into, like, he's like my hero, man. This guy, he switched into his desire focus. And then he started doing like Dispenza meditations, William Buellman stuff. The guy's, he's out of his bed walking around like he's not walking. It's not perfect, but he's come such a long way, man. Like, there was a time when he couldn't even move anything in his body. Now he's walking with assistance. He's still I don't know. It's crazy, man. It's almost, it's a miracle, dude. To
It's
us,
literally
it's
a miracle. That's the definition of what a miracle is. Yeah, I mean that's what it's curing the blind and then making people walk. That's literally the definition of it. You know, so it's proof of the power of the human mind. You know, I mean, the proof's out there every day. Like the science field, they use. I don't know how it works, but they use placebo to test every single medication that we give out. So they know that this phenomena is real. We don't know how it works. Hopefully we'll learn one day, but we know. But the thing we have in our skulls is the most powerful technology in known existence, and it can damn us and make our bodies prisons. And I think that's what happens a lot of times. And people whose spines freak out and they don't know what happened, and they end up just like, I don't know. You can torture yourself and make yourself sick in the same way. If you can escape the muck of everybody putting stuff onto you, I think you can get out of it. And Gareth is a miraculous example. It's hard to do. It's like the most impossible thing. I think the world is geared up to make it not easy for you to do. You have to really have a strong will and really go out of your way and stand up to the tide that's pushing against you and stuff. It's scary. Like, I don't know if I can do it, but it's amazing.
I don't know either.
Was able to.
I've never been like, that's what I'm saying. I don't know either. The guy's my hero. It's easy to lay down and try to get into the vibratory state and explore consciousness every night, right? But it's a whole other thing. Like when you're what you call it? What did they call it? Not the loose pearl, but you're just a case for consciousness. So when your nerve ending case doesn't work anymore, and you're just stuck in your brain, you're just stuck in your head. That terrifies me.
Those are the scariest nightmares too. It's the ones you can't move, the ones where you're fighting as hard as you can to make your body work and it won't work. That's a very common nightmare for all of humanity, and to have that manifest in your waking world has to be hellish. That's very scary.
Yeah, he's like Samson, dude. I'm breaking out of this thing. That's what he said. He messaged me, said I'm literally training like Rocky every day.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome. Yeah.
That is awesome. Isn't
awesome.
It? Yeah. It's freaking amazing. So everybody think about that. Don't turn into a loose pearl tonight. Nightstocker, man. We'll have to do it again sometime. You know,
for sure.
This is like the longest show I've done I haven't even done a show, but this is the longest show I've done in a long time.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm down to do whenever. I'm tired. I'm gonna have to take a nap after I finish this, and I'm tired a lot of times. But if you can get me out of bed on a Monday or a Wednesday, I'm down to chop it up about whatever you want. For sure.
Yeah. And thank you guys in the chat for chiming in too, for coming and hanging out with us tonight. Everyone on the radio station as well at Fringe.fm. I mean, you guys are my people, the radio people out there. I've got lots of ideas we're trying to put into the radio station to make it better, to bring back that late night radio to you, not just in a way. It's going to be tough because everybody loves video now, but I think we can do it to where you're going to love it. So just hang out, watch things morph and change on the Fringe FM over time.
I'll let you know what you want. Like, what do you want to like let him, if you're interested in something in particular, if you're really passionate about something, let him know. So maybe we can incorporate that idea into it. But I'm a procrastinator, and slowly but surely, but I'm hopefully working on something too. We can toss into the mix and try to spice up the audio world of late night. Could be fun.
Hell yeah, and I'm 44 now, dude. So if they get a loose pearl off of me, it might be a little crusty. I'm just saying.
It's vintage. It's a good year. It's a good good vintage, good wine. We're like a cosmic vineyard for a bunch of Archon, an Archon winery. And we're all different, being decanted by trauma all the time.
I'd love to do this 4 or 5 nights a week again. I really would. But the thing is it has to be for me now. Like I'm still brave. I'm still hanging on the edge of my fears there. But you know, I got to pay the bills too. So I didn't get off work until like an hour before the show, and then try to slam it all together. Where before I was like, let's just ride and do it, and whatever the hell happens. I'm still doing that. All right. I'm always stay on the edge of my fear. I'll try to, but you know, the older you get, you kind of lean back just a little bit more each time, you know?
Yeah. I mean, but I think even if you're not doing a show, I think having the goal of doing the shows is good. And I think, we'll get there. But I think even if you're not doing the shows every night, I think it's cool that you do the hangouts and the Discord, and then you do the movies on the weekends and stuff. I think that like,
oh hell yeah,
even just
that's
bringing
fun, too.
just bringing the community together, even without the formal show unify or whatever, just having us all together is fun. So you're just doing that more often, maybe, like if you don't feel like,
well, how am I going to feed my
one
ego if I can't do a show every night?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, maybe it'll just the more hangouts, the more people come around and give you more inspiration to do more shows. I don't know.
Let's have fun. Let's play on the radio. I love you, brother. Thanks for coming on, man.
Let's have fun. Yeah,
I got some more. We're gonna leave this with some Nightstocker music too. What do you think?
Nice. Yeah. What do you got next?
Well, now that I've played it legally, I can say what it is. I can't say it before it plays, but a little Crosby, Stills, and Nash. How about that?
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So if they're going to kick us off of YouTube, they can do it when we end the show. How about that?
Yeah. Been in a CSN phase lately.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Have you seen
for coming
Annihilation
out.
too?
Which one?
Annihilation.
Yeah, I've seen that.
The movie. Yeah.
Have you seen Under the Silver Lake?
No.
Oh, you got to watch that, dude. That'll blow your freaking mind.
Yeah, Helplessly Helpless one is from that, and that got me into a big Crosby, Stills, and Nash kick the last couple of months. Yeah, so Jam, thank you, brother. Thank you everybody for listening, and I'll be around more. I won't vanish on you guys. But this is fun.
Nah, y'all. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Don't let the people you love turn into a loose pearl.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Fortify your clam.
Later, y'all. Fucking loose pearls, man. That's a new thing. I'm gonna make some t-shirt.
Is it going?
I am not leaving. I am yours. You are mine. You are what you are. You make it hard. Tearing yourself away from me now. You are free, and I am crying. This does not mean I don't love you. I do. That's forever. Yes, and for always. I am yours. You are mine. You are what you are. You make it hard. Something inside is telling me that I've got your secret. Are you still listening?